here, but that's going to cross near Hillman, Mississippi pretty soon here. And Leakesville is technically in the polygon. So if you're in Leakesville, go ahead and go through your tornado precaution because at any point we could see a brief spin up here. Now I want to go just outside of the Fox 10 viewing area to this. And this is a rather strong area of rotation that we're seeing right now. And actually, it was a little tighter just a few moments ago. And what we're going to watch for, if you're in places like Bendale, Mississippi, I really want you to watch this. Right now, there's no tornado warning for you, but we're going to see if this area of rotation can go up near Deep Creek, Bendale, kind of on the county borders here and get up into this region, because this is another place that we're watching for a possible tornado. So to summarize for you there, a lot of folks in Greene County need to be in shelter right now, including in Leakesville, because we have two areas of distinct rotation that are happening there. And they have actually just updated to continue that tornado warning through 9:15. Then we're going to keep our eyes down the road here, and we're going to be watching for George County, especially the northwestern corner of George County for that particular storm. And then you can see that there are other storms even behind that. That is another potential tornado that's way out back there. This is Interstate 59. Looking at here, Slidell is down here. There's Diamond Head, Bay St. Louis, Gulfport's right here. So multiple areas of spin that Matt's pointing out there, and all of those areas of spin, something we're keeping an eye on. But it looks like the most concerning one right now is actually the one near Avery. So if you're near Indian Hill Road, Clark, Old Avery, you need to be getting into shelter right now, because it does look like this one's tightening up. And as I mentioned earlier, at any point in between scans, these things can tighten up pretty quickly and drop something. They may be a weak tornado, but it's enough to cause damage. So something to keep in mind there. It looks like they're updating the southern tornado warning too as well, Matt.
Yeah, these are what we generally call, as meteorologists, quick spinners. So we have such a turbulent atmosphere right now. Like I mentioned earlier, think about running your hand through a tub of water or through the pool or something. And when you do that, you see the little vortices kind of just spinning off in the water. It's fluid dynamics, and we've got a very turbulent atmosphere. There's a bunch of little spins out there in the atmosphere, and some of those spins eventually turn into tornadoes when they get strong enough, and that's what we're probably seeing here near Avery. Once again, another pretty tight circulation there, and there we go. And it looks like some debris there, and it does correlate with what we're seeing there on the velocity imagery. So what Nick is doing, he's showing the velocity. Now this shows us where the winds are tightest and where they're circulating, and then Nick's going to hit the correlation coefficient on here, and what he's going to do is see if there's any correlation here with some debris, and there does seem to be a little bit here. It was a little bit clearer a moment ago, but once again, there is something showing up on there. And what the radar does is, and obviously it shoots out a microwave, and that microwave bounces off raindrops and comes back. Well, raindrops are all essentially the same size, so the raindrops get painted in one color, and then you'll see other colors. See these bright yellows starting to show up? That's the radar saying, hey, something's bigger or smaller than the raindrops, usually bigger. So there could be some sort of debris in the air rather than rain. So because the limb, roofing tiles, something like that, are bigger than the raindrops, so they show up in this imagery. So that's why we look at this, we call it correlation coefficient, which is I know kind of it's a technical term, but what we generally call it for us on here, we call it the debris tracker, because that's what we're looking at here. Nick?
Just to show you what's going on down the line here. So this potential tornado that is just east of Sand Hill is very near Indian Hill Road. It's pretty rural. That is a very forested part of Greene County. But I want to give you a heads up to the northeastern corner of Greene County, up near State Line. If this area of spin were to continue and maintain its strength, it's going to ride right up Indian Hill Road, Old Avery Road, Knobtown, then eventually up to State Line. So just giving you an early heads up there. That's where this thing is going. There is no tornado warning for places like Knobtown or State Line just yet, but if this rotation keeps itself up, we could see one there. Then looking off to the south, once again, Leakesville, you are in the polygon for a tornado warning. However, the rotation there is not as strong as the one to your north. Still, let's honor what the National Weather Service is saying here. keeping a tornado warning in place for now until 9:15 for the next couple of minutes. So at least for the next couple of minutes here in Greene County, in those warning polygons, you need to be sheltered. I do want to hop down, take a look at this. Thankfully, this is just outside of our area right now. This is Mississippi 15 here. Here's Bendale. You have an area of circulation that's going to move up towards Deep Creek, and there's likely going to be a tornado warning there pretty soon as this continues to move off to the north, and there are other tornado warnings behind it. I do also want to note, you see that little blip right there. Let me check on that. This is a little, wow, these are little rain showers, and this is what we were talking about earlier. You see all these little rain showers here. All of these have a kind of hook shape to them. All of these are rotating a little bit, and one of the questions that we're going to be waiting for is if any of these can rotate strong enough. We'll have to watch for the possibility of a weak spin up tornado there. But the big show, as Matt was saying earlier, Matt, is the stuff associated with this really heavy rain that is coming into our area now, moving through our Mississippi counties or into our Mississippi counties.
Yeah, that's right, Nicholas. We that whole area there that we're watching back towards central Mississippi, that's going to be kind of working its way on in, because I know a lot of folks are probably watching right now like, hey, it's barely raining at my house. Give us some time. This is going to be a pretty rough system, especially for, something that wasn't, not even named anymore. I mean, the last update was at 10 o'clock last night. It is not technically Arthur anymore, but the thing is, we already had a lot of moisture in place. If this storm hadn't come, we would still have rain today. We'd still be pretty wet today. There was already a system that worked its way down the Gulf Coast. It left a lot of moisture behind. We have a lot of moisture to work with here. And then now you're bringing in this extra batch of tropical disturbance, basically, this tropical disturbance, and that is just creating, the whole atmosphere right now is just like a big sponge, just full of moisture. And now you put this tropical system in, and what it's done is just stirred the atmosphere up. And what Nicholas was just showing us is all these different spins are showing up in this. And that's just because, once again, the atmosphere is just there's a bunch of spin in the atmosphere, and all it takes is a little quick spin up, and then you get a tornado out of one of these. And these will be completely rain wrapped. Do not think you're going to go outside and get a picture of these. Don't try to do that. You do not want to do that. You're not going to be able to see it. When you got rainfall rates 5-7 inches an hour, you're not going to see anything out there. It's going to be completely rain wrapped. So we want to keep folks away from doing that. Once again, they just put up a tornado warning for the whole thing, didn't they, Nick?
So I believe that they're really focusing on that circulation that is just outside of our area in Perry and Stone counties, and they are tracking that all the way out. However, you see that does still include the areas that are currently under tornado warnings. So there's a couple things that we're keeping an eye on. And I'll tell you, the text of the warning says at 9:11 a.m., a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 10 miles east of Wiggins, Mississippi, moving northeast at 40.
Let me mention something here real quick. This is looking really sloppy. So what's happening here is that the whole atmosphere essentially is spinning here across central Mississippi, south central Mississippi, and now we're seeing tornado warnings kind of pile up on top of tornado warnings. Here's the thing. This is all a tornado warning. Just consider the whole thing. This whole line is going to be really nasty. No matter which part of it you get, this is all going to be really nasty. So we just got to kind of look at it like that. There's going to be multiple spins here, and at any point there could be a tornado that drops. These will be these quick spin-up tornadoes we've been talking about. But even more so than that is just the fact that with this kind of deep convection, we're also getting this extremely heavy rain. I don't know if you have the rainfall rates up there. We could put, there we go. These are incredible rainfall rates that we've seen out of these storms for now. Rainfall rate is how much rain is falling per hour. That is what we're looking at here. How much rain is falling per hour. And in some of these, you can see Nick is starting to put up 5.2 inches per hour, 3.5 inches per hour, 5 inches per hour. Some of these white spots on here, earlier I was getting up to 7 inches per hour in some of these cells. That is an extreme amount of rain, even for us. These are big-time rain producers. These are the type of storms when they come in, you completely lose visibility because it's like a waterfall. So these are waterfall type of storms right now, and they are spreading their rain eastward eventually. It's going to take time to move this into our area, then move it through. This is going to be a most of the day kind of event. So this isn't going to go away real quick. This is going to continue on, and we'll probably see it evolve. And when we're watching, especially a flooding event, we really have to watch where the storms train. When I say train, I mean like as in trains on a track. Do they keep training their way on through? And as they do that, where does that set up? Where do we get the worst flooding? That's going to be the big question here as we continue on here through our day. And right now, it's been in South Mississippi and over in towards southeast Louisiana. We've seen these massive rainfall totals just over last night and through this morning. Getting multiple, like 7, 8 inches of rain in some of these spots. Now this is going to be working its way towards us, and it's going to continue to pick up moisture from the Gulf too. So it's going to continue to add into all this, and so it won't just wash out. It'll continue to evolve, and in some parts will continue to build, some will fall apart, but some other parts will continue to build, and this will be a dynamic situation as we continue to go through the day.
So, Matt, a quick update for you. It is now 9:15. They have dropped the tornado warnings, the old ones that were in Greene County. However, we have a new tornado warning that was just issued moments ago. That includes George and Greene County. It also includes Perry and Stone County, just outside the Fox 10 viewing area. It's for this circulation right here that's moving off to the northeast. So folks in McLean and even especially on the west side of Leakesville, you want to go ahead and get into your safe place. You're getting a lot of advance warning here from another circulation, independent from the ones that we've already talked about, another circulation that's moving up now. So here's your deal, and I'll zoom in on this. Thankfully, Matt, over the past couple of scans, this area of spin has not looked that impressive, but near Deep Creek, that's what we're watching for, and eventually that'll move up to 98 pretty soon.
Yeah, and once again, essentially the whole line is a severe storm, period. It's the whole thing is a severe storm. However you want to look at it. I mean, obviously, you don't want to be outside in it. You want to be in your safe place when this line comes through. Because it isn't just about the spin that's going on in the atmosphere. It's also about the very heavy rain that is falling here within this system. And right now, it's in the same spots, and it's going over the same spots. So we're going to see. Where we have we do have a flash flood warning that goes right up to our viewing area. There will be another flash flood warning. That will happen. Your phones will start going off when they post that. I don't know exactly when they'll post it, but there will be another flash flood warning for Greene County eventually. There'll likely be one for parts of George County. And then as this whole line moves over, we'll continue to get those flash flood warnings, and we'll probably continue to get more tornado warnings too, because once again, the whole atmosphere is turbulent. It's all spinning, and we're seeing these quick spin up tornadoes. Now, we're going to obviously be tracking every time we get a tornado warning out of these. But my thinking is we won't see, most of the issues from tornadoes today. Most of the issues is simply going to come from the rain and the very high level of rain that we're going to see throughout the day. Nick's going back in through all the different warnings. So all this crimson red, that is the flash flood warnings, and they are everywhere. Everywhere those heavy storms are at right now, there are flash flood warnings. And as those heavy storms can work their way into our area, the flash flood warnings will work their way with them as well. We'll see flash flood warnings, and they'll set off your phone and you'll hear them. But there's also going to be tornado warnings that'll continue along this line. And so probably over into northern Mobile County. Of course, more of George County will eventually probably see that. Washington County, northern Mobile County. This is the current warning. This one goes through 10 a.m., but I'm just trying to get you out ahead of this. There's going to be more of these today, probably a lot more. And as this whole line continues to work its way on through. The yellow is the tornado watch. We're all under a tornado watch. That probably goes through the afternoon, I would imagine.
Yes, this tornado watch goes until 5 p.m. Yeah. So well through the afternoon there for the entire area.
Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about. This is an all-day event. The atmosphere is completely stacked today. We've been talking about this last few days, that today would be the washout. Unfortunately, we're getting some extra severe weather on top of it. I was hopeful that we wouldn't get all that much severe weather out of this, but anytime you have any sort of tropical system, even one like this that was weak and it fell apart, it stirs up the upper levels of the atmosphere, and then we've already got a lot of heating and all that, and of course plenty of moisture to work with, so we end up getting a very turbulent atmosphere with a lot of spin. A lot of lightning as well. I mean, number of strikes out of this, 700 in just the last 10, 15 minutes. So a bunch of lightning as well. So these are copious lightning producers to go along with the heavy rain and, of course, the possibility of tornadoes. Once again, there is a tornado warning that goes up to Sand Hill, Leakesville. It's actually for this part of the storm that's back here. It's not quite in Bendale. It's just a little bit off to the west. This is the part of the storm that is causing the most concern. This will continue to track off to the north and east. But once again, this will be an evolving situation to where we'll see this, probably see this broaden out, probably see it tighten back up, probably see it broaden out, probably see it tighten back up. So we'll be keeping an eye on all these spins and all these circulations here as we continue to go through the morning. And really, like I said, through the day, that tornado watch is up through 5 o'clock. So this is going to be a long event to have to contend with. I'm noticing, too, on some of these scans, Nicholas, we're starting to get some spins in other places.
Yes,
so
that
we're
one
going to have
south
to
of
keep an
Lucedale.
eye on some of the other spots here. Yeah, that's what I was just looking at. There's some other spins out there.
Look at how small the rain shower is with it. That little rain shower is producing rotation.
So we're getting this areas of light rain, but then we're getting these embedded. They don't look like much, but if you're in Lucedale right now, you probably can't see anymore. I mean, this is a heavy little shower, so it's tiny, but it's heavy. But these are the big ones back here to the west that are going to continue to fill in. And then they're going to continue to work with all of that moisture. There's a ton of moisture in the atmosphere. Like I said, it's pretty much stacked from top to bottom with tropical tropical moisture right now. And let's see, we've got some different camera angles over there. Guys, can we take some of those full screen? Because I'd like to take a better look at some of those. Maybe they're on in Lucedale, if we could. I'd like to see a little closer in, because Lucedale right now is getting some very heavy rain. In my eyes, I just can't see that very well. There we go. MDOT camera, this is again in Lucedale, and they are getting right now that little shower that Nicholas was just talking about. Not very big, but it is heavy, and that is some nasty rain falling there in Lucedale. And that is not the worst of it for you guys. You're going to have some heavier rain moving in just a little bit.
So there's a look.
There's a storm
snow
tracker,
road.
yeah, on westbound and Airport.
Yeah, and that is pretty impressive rain there too. And you know, even if the reflectivity is showing rain that is not that crazy, it's tropical rain. It is dense when you're driving through it. I drove through it early this morning. I saw already significant ponding. Anytime you get into the yellow, I'm already seeing ponding.
Yeah, so what Nicholas is talking about here, we can go back to reflectivity, guys. We'll get off the truck for a second. What Nick is talking about with tropical rain, we get tropical rain, the raindrops are smaller. And so you look here at the map, you say, well, it doesn't look like a whole lot like here, some areas where you see green. But it's actually a little heavier than what we typically see. So it's actually fairly heavy rain, and that's why some of these rainfall rates are really getting on up there because, once again, this is tropical rain. This is very deep tropical moisture, and when these little raindrops, they start falling way up in the atmosphere, they just keep collecting that moisture as they fall and keep collecting that moisture, and you just get so much rain out of these. So it's just like a sponge. The atmosphere is like a sponge right now. Look at that. That little tiny shower south of Faro is producing 6-inch an hour rainfall rate. And so this is going to cause issues here for us. You start getting rainfall rates like that. These obviously are smaller showers, so they kind of come and go really quickly, but these don't come and go quickly. Once one of these gets to you, they stay for a while. And that's why we've been seeing some significant issues over here in Mississippi. I'm sure they're seeing significant flooding issues. We've been getting word from New Orleans, got a lot of this earlier this morning. They've been dealing with significant flooding issues there. So a lot to deal with here as this whole line moves on through. Nicholas is pulling up that estimated rainfall. Look at that streak. And, you know, kind of just continue this on. This is going to kind of go like this. It's going to just keep working its way through our area, right? Through our area this later on as we go through the morning. So this, look at these 9 inches of rain. This is 12 hours. This is last night and this morning. 9 inches of rain, 7.5 inches of rain, 6.5 inches of rain. That is incredible stuff. And the thing is, too, though, if this misses you, you'll end up with far less rain. You may end up with less than an inch of rain today if this streak misses you, because I think this is going to kind of work its way up 65. It may miss some of our eastern parts of our viewing area. It may. I'm not going to guarantee you that, okay? I'm not going to guarantee you that at all, because even these little rain showers out ahead of this storm will produce copious amounts of rainfall, too, so you'll still get rain. Once again, back into that tornado warning. This is up in Leakesville, Greene County, Sand Hill area. pretty broad right now. Nicholas, are we hearing any word about any updates on any of this?
They have not. I do want to kind of go through a who's in and who's out with this because, first of all, the actual area of spin, this green and red right here. The Leaf River runs right here. This is Mississippi 57. This is just to the west of 57 Leaf there. This is eventually going to cross 98 near McLean here. So if you're in McLean, you need to be in a safe spot here. Calling out some of the roads here. Who is in this warning? Green Lodge Road, Neely Road, Hillman there along 57. This is 57 and 98 right here. Leaf River right here. Royce, Leaf, Corbett Boulevard, Pine Loop Road, McLean, as in like the town of McLean there as well. Then looking up near Neely, Bradley, Jonathan, you are in this. If you are in the town center of Leakesville, technically you are in the polygon with this. It is more the western side of Leakesville, but it is still there. So please be careful and make sure you're getting into a safe place there. You go up near Jonathan, Shady Hollow Road, Clark Heritage Road. This tornado warning polygon extends all the way up to Clark in Greene County, Mississippi. I will note, if you are in State Line, you are not under a tornado warning. If you're in Knobtown, you're not under a tornado warning here. But just near Indian Hill Road here, we do still have some area of weak spin that is moving northeast. Eventually, that's going to get to US 45. So there's no tornado warning there, but understand that you're about to get with a very, very heavy downpour pretty soon, and we will be on the ready just in case another warning is issued. Now, if you are in Loosedale, especially on the north side of Loosedale, you might be getting some very heavy rain in a very suspect shape on that little rain shower, but right now you are not under a tornado warning. Well, hold on. That looks pretty tight, though, there. You can see here in these little rain showers, what we're seeing is these little areas of spin, and that is right over the town center of Loosedale. So if you're in Loosedale right now, just be inside. You don't want to be outside at this point. That's about to cross north of 98. Then it's going to get itself pretty much going to parallel 63, right up Old 63, this area of spin. So this is not a tornado warning right now, but there is an area of rotation that is right now right over Loosedale. And it's something that we're keeping an eye on there. So they have just taken Stone County out of the warning. That's why the warning is flashing now. So this is just going to be a Perry County, then of course George and Greene County warning right here. You can see near Avent, you do have the area of spin. It's very broad at this point, but that's about to move up to 98 there in Greene County. And that's the deal right now. I do want to check the rest of the area though and see what else is going on in here. Matt, what are you looking for?
No, you go right ahead. You're looking for some more spins out there?
Yes, I do want to check.
Yeah, go ahead and widen that out. We'll go ahead and take a look because we are getting a lot of these little cells out ahead of that main line, and we got to watch those as well because these little cells out ahead of the main line, like Nicholas was saying earlier, yeah,
that is crazy.
There's almost certainly some water spouts going on right now.
Yes.
So there's less friction out over the water, and that allows, when these storms are going through, they have some spin with them, and that will allow the probability of seeing some water spouts. So I would not be surprised at all if there wasn't a water spout there in Gulf Shores, one here near Bon Secours. There's also some more spins showing up here around Fish River and Oa. So there's some more spins in the atmosphere, and at any point, once you get a storm here, these can spin up into what we call a quick spinner, a quick spin up tornado. These are not the tornadoes that you would see in the heart of springtime when we had the big clash of air masses. They're not built like that. These are built differently. They're going to be more of just a quick spin up. Obviously, it can still do damage though, so we got to watch out for them. But they're kind of more embedded within this whole mess here that we're dealing with today. So once again, yeah, Leakesville, you got that tornado warning.
I just checked the inland area. I wanted to see if there was any spin up there. It looks like the inland area is not as spinny, really, with these storms. It's all those little showers to the south, except, of course, as we've been talking about, this main almost line, that is the one that is packing the most punch right now.
Yeah, I've been thinking of it as the core of this system, essentially, is what we're keeping an eye on through central Mississippi right now. That is where the worst of the weather is at. And it's actually not in our area yet. It's just now getting into around the Leakesville and Bendale area. Nicholas is marking off this around Bendale. They're getting some circulation there, possibility of, once again, this is a tornado warning. So, you know, we want to be in shelter here in Leaf and McLean, be in shelter because we got this really nasty cell coming through, and it very well could have a tornado with it. But regardless, you just need to be away from your windows, be in your safe place here today, this morning. And this whole thing is going to continue to work its way on through the area as we go through the day. This is going to be a very long day because it's going to take a while. This isn't a fast mover. It's going to push through and move through within a few hours. This is going to be with us a good bit of the day, and we're going to continue to see how it evolves, and it will evolve. We'll see if it can keep its severe weather setup going. We'll see if it can keep its moisture going. I think it will. I think we'll definitely continue to see very heavy rain here with this. So we're going to continue to track this as it continues to work its way on eastward through our area. Like I said, the worst of it, not quite in our area just yet, but it will be soon. And we're going to keep you up to date all through the morning here on Fox 10. Please stay tuned and stay with us, and we'll have a lot more updates coming up right here on Fox 10.
It's a little after 9 o'clock. I'm meteorologist Nicholas Saboso, joined by meteorologist Matt Barentine. What you're looking at here is Interstate 65 near Dauphin Street, the northbound lanes, where you do see there was a small accident there. Remember, the roads are very, very, very wet, and you have to drive carefully there. And what you're seeing it is one small lane block. So once again, that is Interstate 65 northbound there. And actually, you see on the traffic tracker, it's actually not picking up very much on 65, slowing down. I've seen some other maps that show a little bit of a slowdown. So understand that's the deal there, and you have to be careful on the roads because the rain is heavy. Let's get to reflectivity right now, and we'll take a look at what's going on. And Matt's here with me tracking all of this. And Matt, it looks like we have some heavy rain going on, and actually a new severe thunderstorm warning that they have just popped for all ahead of
the entire
this line.
Yeah, this one of the it's an entire line. Severe thunderstorm warning. We see these a lot with a line coming through. So a big old severe thunderstorm warning covers multiple counties. All of this will be severe. Now, there will be some spins within this, and we've already seen that for the possibility of some tornadoes. Of course, the other big thing here is the rainfall rates. Rainfall rates in these this morning have been above 5 inches in many cases, and that rainfall rate is how much rain falls per hour. And when you get up to around 5 inches per hour, think about that. That would be a good month's worth of rain just about in an hour, and that is why they get rainfall rates like that. It causes massive problems and causes flooding, and it causes ponding out. And obviously, the roads will flood, ditches, the culverts, and even eventually it works its way down into our streams and creeks and things. So once again, we have a big severe thunderstorm warning covers all of Washington, just about all of Washington County, I should say, even a good portion of the northeastern corner or northwestern corner of Mobile County. And what Nick is showing us here, he's looking on the velocity imagery and he's seeing multiple spins. So the atmosphere is so turbulent right now. And the atmosphere right now is very, very turbulent. And this happens with tropical systems. Now, I know this thing doesn't have a name anymore. It's fallen apart as far as that part of it's concerned. But the energy is still in the atmosphere, and especially in the upper levels. And this is creating some spin as this is quickly moving on through. And then you get multiple spins here happening. Now, we do have one tornado warning. It's going to be for this one in Bendale. These other ones that Nick is pointing out don't have warnings with them yet, but they could eventually have warnings. And, of course, when you have a severe thunderstorm warning, be aware that there is possibilities of tornadoes building within a severe thunderstorm.
They have a tornado possible tag. On
Yeah,
severe thunderstorm.
and they'll say, severe thunderstorm warning with tornado possible. And that's what we're looking at here. But obviously, if it gets tighter, they'll put up a tornado warning separately for these different spins. This is the one north of Loosedale. Definitely some spin going on there. Some one here near Knobtown and State Line. Definitely some spin there. And even if you're not getting a tornado on the ground, you're getting some very rough weather, and you got to stay inside and stay in your safe place, hopefully listening to us and keeping up with all this here this morning. Once again, now Nicholas kind of just going around showing you where the rain is at. And this has been interesting how this has evolved too, because we've had this sort of main core back in Mississippi, but now we're really starting to see a lot of showers spring up out ahead of all that. And we're starting to get some pretty impressive rainfall rates out of some of these small showers and storms. And Nicholas is just kind of moving around, looking at all the different.
Look at the little hook on that thing.
Yeah, a little bit of a hook there. So, all of these have the possibility of a bit of spin, okay? They all do. They're, like I said, the whole atmosphere right now is very stirred up, very turbulent. So any of these little storms this morning are going to be able to drop a quick spin-up tornado. Heavy rain, of course, be the biggest issue with all this. We're going to continue to see very high rainfall rates. Actually, the rainfall rates are going to pick up. I mean, if you've been watching this morning, kind of looking at you and you're like, man, what are you talking about? It's barely raining out there. It's on the way, all right? We haven't fully gotten into all this yet in most areas, okay? This is picking up as the morning goes along. This is a building situation here for us across our area. And so we're building on these storms. These are all building right now and dropping heavier and heavier rain. And, so you'll go from barely having any rain at all to getting, just a deluge, a waterfall happening out your window. So these are going to be very, very heavy little showers that are out in front of it. And then we got the core of the system back here around Leakesville that is just now moving into our area where we're seeing more of the spin here. But we're also seeing some of the heavier rainfall rates as well, more of the broad rainfall rates too. The little ones out ahead, you may get really heavy rain for 10, 15 minutes, and then it kind of subsides again as you go to a little lull. You won't get a lull when these things eventually move in. These are big storms, and they pack a lot of rain. There's, again, that tornado warning is up till 10, so about 22 minutes for that part of Greene County. And once again, like I said, we're going to see these warnings move. So they put up a severe thunderstorm warning for this entire line, and you can see how it's gotten shifted now to the east because they're trying to warn people out ahead of the main of this line here that this is on the way, say up in Chatham, down north near Chunchula. And so that's, yep. And what Nick is pointing out is when we do have these big severe thunderstorm warnings, they do mention that tornadoes are possible, and that's what happens. You have a severe thunderstorm warning, and then if something builds up within that, they'll pop up a separate tornado warning if it looks like it has enough spin. So we'll probably see, once again, we'll definitely be seeing more severe thunderstorm warnings. We'll almost certainly be seeing some more tornado warnings as the whole line shifts east. We'll see flash flood warnings. Those will happen in our area as this day goes along. We'll just have to see where some of the heaviest rain bands through and where it trains through. Because what happens is, oh, we're going to zoom in around here.
Hey, so
Now
this
we're in
is
Baldwin
south
County.
of, yeah, this is just south of Silver Hill. For like 1 second, this little shower, the rotation got pretty tight. And for a second, it looked like there might have been a little debris signature. So what happened is that might have crossed County Road 32, that's right there. This is Fish River right here, and then gone up County Road 9, just County Road 9 parallels Fish River there. And that area of spin, if I go to the live picture now, is going up to the south side of Silver Hill. It's about to cross 55. This is not a tornado warning, but that's the thing, and we have to be. I actually have a second radar source, and I'm kind of got an overview of everything right now. With these little things, they may spin up really quickly. Not enough time to give ample like tornado warning and stuff. So a lot of these little showers we're going to keep an eye on. What's going to happen is your rain's going to get really heavy, and your winds may get really gusty as well. And there is the potential for some potentially very strong winds. And we'll have to keep an eye out on things because at any point with these little showers, we could see a brief spin up there. So we'll be keeping an eye on all of those for you there. It doesn't look like an imminent threat now, but definitely some gusty winds there moving up into Silver Hill as that little area of spin is happening there. There's also a little area of spin here just to the north of the wharf in Orange Beach, and I could just zoom the map around and make you sick zooming the map around and showing you all these little areas of spin. But what's going to happen is with all of these, it is heavy rain that sets with them, and that's a problem because, I mean, if you're driving and you hit with one of the heavy rain cells that are moving through, it is tough. And the rain rate is insane with all of this, and the rainfall totals are insane with this, as you can see here. Those numbers in the yellow streak, Matt, that's like 9 inches.
Yeah, this is why I've been so concerned, because I've been watching this evolve over last night and early this morning. This big streak of rain, this is the core of that system that we are kind of waiting on. It's just beginning to enter our area, but this has caused major problems because this is massive amounts of rain that they've seen building up with them. I mean, look at that, 10 inches of rain, 9 inches of rain, 7 inches of rain, 6 inches of rain. This is over 12 hours. So this is over last night and this morning. This isn't over like 3 days. This is overnight rain. And so they've gotten, more than a month's worth of rain here during the overnight hours and during the morning. And this is spreading our way. So this will continue to spread our way. And we're going to see similar numbers, I believe, across our area that we just saw there. 7, 8, 9, 10 inches of rain is a real possibility with some of this, Nicholas.
Our friends at our sister station over in Biloxi, they have gotten reports of people being rescued in Wiggins, Mississippi. So water rescues happening right now. They've gotten 5 inches of rain so far, probably 5+ inches of rain because this is a bit of a lagging product here. But I mean, just to show that's some serious stuff, and that's why we have those flash flood warnings in place.
Yeah. So we're going to be seeing issues like that today. We know people, you always say turn around, don't drown, but there are some people that don't ever hear that, and there'll be issues out there today. So please be careful, because we fully anticipate dealing with some of that kind of thing today because of this very heavy rain. You can't bring in 8, 9, 10 inches of rain in 10, 12 hours and not have issues. It's going to happen. So that's what we're going to see today. See, we got some of our different camera views up right now. Loosedale over there in Mississippi, that one should have probably, it looks like it has some pretty heavy rain, but it looks like Daphne actually has the heaviest rain right now. We are seeing some pretty big, they're small, but they're heavy rain producers right now over the bay. In fact, let's go ahead and zoom into that. I want to zoom into the Daphne area because that looks pretty impressive right now. Yeah, look at that. That is right on top of Daphne proper right now.
Oof.
That's the waterfall, folks. So,
and look at the reflectivity color is just yellow. So when you're checking your app on your phone and you see yellow and you're like, oh, that's not bad.
yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, so these are prolific rain producers. This is tropical rain. We mentioned this earlier. Tropical rainfall, the rain droplets themselves are smaller, so they don't show up as impressively, I guess you would say, on the radar. But obviously you're dealing with some very, very heavy rain. Once again, that is Daphne, Montrose, Fairhope right now, all dealing with that heavy rain. And we're starting to see those rainfall rates starting to pick up like that were back in Mississippi, starting to pick up in our area as well. So this is an evolving event. It'll continue to evolve as we go through the day. Flooding, when we get real flooding in our area, It's kind of one of these things you have to kind of continue to watch where the storms are going through, where they're training through, and it just kind of picks up as the morning goes along, as the day goes along, and it evolves. It evolves to where things are going to be at. And exactly how many different kinds of warnings we get. Here's the tornado warning again.
This is a new tornado warning that goes from Mobile County. There's a bit of circulation developing south of the airport. Rotation is not clear cut on the lowest scan, but a couple hundred feet up, we do see strengthening rotation aloft. And whenever the rotation strengthens aloft, it may translate down. So if you're near the airport,
so here is a limitation of the radar. The radar here at the airport, you can't get any information right around the airport. And if there's something, they're noticing that there's something trying to develop around here, but it's really hard to pick out. We can see it barely right there, just north of Dawes. Let's zoom in, Nick. Let's see where are we at. Let's zoom all the way down in there. Let's get right in there. We're talking about Leroy Stevens, Cottage Hill. So we're at Cottage Hill and Jeff Hamilton, and we're seeing a spin up here. This is going to go through right by the airport, so we're going to lose that signature here soon, and we'll have to see if it emerges on the other side up around Howells Ferry or South Alabama. Yep, there it is. So we are seeing some sort of circulation here just off of Jeff Hamilton Road, and near where Jeff Hamilton and Cottage Hill come together. So this is south of the airport near Snow Road. Here's Snow Road here, and that's at Jeff Hamilton and Snow, and we're seeing a rotation right there around Jeff Hamilton Road, and this is going to be working its way towards the airport. So this is going basically right through the airport. Like I said, there's a window around the airport. We can't see into it. That's the limitation of the technology where the actual radar site is at. And then we'll see if it emerges on the other side up here around Magnolia Grove and heading more off to the north. So this is a brand new tornado warning, and this is for Mobile County. This is West Mobile, Leroy Stevens Road, Cottage Hill Road, Leroy Stevens at Cottage Hill. So this is way out in West Mobile. Here we are at the studio at McGowan, we are just outside of that warned box, the tornado warning. And the tornado warning essentially goes up 65 through town, but it does include Saraland and Satsuma in all this, but it'll be a while before it gets over that way. So if you're in Saraland, you're in Satsuma, this is not in your area just yet. It will take some time before it to go that way. And look also too, Nicholas, notice the lightning bubbling up there.
Yeah, and that's a telltale.
Showing the cloud tops building up and the convection building up. And gosh, that is tiny. It's right there, though, near Jeff Hamilton Snow Road. It is getting really hard to pick out, though, because once you get close to the radar, it basically kind of washes out. But there does still seem to be some circulation right there. Just got to kind of trust us on that one. It gets tricky looking at it like this.
Yeah, I mean, also you can kind of tell in reflectivity the shape of that rain shower. You would think that your possible tornado literally is just south of the airport right now, kind of just near Baker High School, really. That's going to move right over the airport because your tornadic circulation would be on the southwest side of the rain shower there. So that would be right here in this little corner, and that's going to move up. Baker High School is right there. That's right up near the airport. So that's the kind of area that we're talking about. By the way, downtown Mobile is actually not in this warning. They're just outside the polygon. So if you're getting a tornado warning on your phone in Mobile County, it includes folks near the airport, Medal of Honor Park, University of South Alabama, up to Sims, Magnolia Grove, here at Schillinger, when that gets up to Moffett 98, and then 158 as well. Cushla is in this. Technically, Saraland is in this warning. We'll see if it holds together for that long. These are short-lived things. Satsuma High School, Chunchula is in this warning. Salco, Axis, Creola, up Celeste Road. That is the extent of this tornado warning that goes until, we have a new tornado warning as well, that goes until 10:30. So if you're in this area, you need to seek shelter. We have a new tornado warning that's just been issued. This one includes Bendale and Mississippi. This is for a circulation that is moving out of Stone County right now, or pretty soon here. That'll move very near Bendale. If you're in Bendale, Mississippi, go ahead and seek shelter in an interior room away from windows. There's a lot of lightning associated with that one there, and that's something that we're keeping a close eye on. The tornado warning that is there near Leakesville, it just doesn't look that impressive, if I'm being honest, and they're still holding on to this warning. This warning will go until 10 a.m., so the next 9 minutes or so. But that's going to be something we're keeping an eye on. Also, it looks like we have rotation that is tightening up here to the northwest of Browntown near Highway 63 and Greene County here. That might move up. There's a new tornado warning that was just issued for that thing that I was talking about there. So we have a new tornado warning that includes Fruitdale, Vinegar Bend, Chatham, Browntown. This is on the line of Greene County and Washington County. So now if you're in Chatham, you need to be in an interior room away from windows. So we have multiple tornado warnings going on right now.
Yeah, it's also probably a reason why they're not going to drop these tornado warnings. And the reason why is because the whole atmosphere is turbulent right now. And even as one of these quick spinners kind of lifts back up, another one's going to probably fall back down along the line here. So it's just going to be a constant thing where we're dealing with these here throughout the morning as he continue to work this whole situation off to the east. Once again, multiple tornado warnings. In fact, let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 tornado warnings in Greene, George, Mobile, and Washington counties. So 4 counties, 4 warnings. And this is going to be the case as this continues to work its way on in the core of the system. If we could, you have something there, Nicholas?
I was just going to say, how do you want to work? I want to work north to south with this, but
that'd be great. Let's go north to south on this, and let's show you all the different circulation areas. We're going to be here near Leakesville, near Browntown. This is the newest one that they just posted the tornado warning for. This is going to be here along 594 in Browntown. So that's one circulation. Let's move on to the next circulation because there's more. And there's one back here to just actually west of our viewing area, west of Bendale, but this will be coming your way soon. And then of course, there's the one in Mobile, and I think the one in Mobile right now is probably over the airport. So I don't think we'll probably see much here. Yeah, because this, like I said, this is like you can only do so much with technology. Where the radar is, you can't get any information from around the area right around the airport. But we think there's a circulation going on there. There's a tornado warning from Mobile County, Magnolia Grove. I know they would have blown the horn, but nobody's out in the course right now anyway. Sims, Kushla. There's a lot of rain falling there as well. And then of course you're going to be in line for whatever this possible tornado comes on through here in just a bit. Even if it's not a tornado on the ground, this is going to be extremely heavy rainfall rates. Once again, blinding waterfall type of rain. And then, of course, the gusty winds that'll come along with it and the possibility of a tornado. So we've been kind of going back and forth. There's a whole bunch out there right now, a lot of spin in the atmosphere. Nicholas, too, are we still seeing the spin, you think, down here and getting some waterspouts on the bay, maybe down by Gulf Shores? Because we've been seeing that, too. And yeah, it looks like we're still seeing some of that. Yeah, there's multiple little areas of spin here. None of these have gotten strong enough to trigger a warning, but we're just going to keep an eye on those. And remember, this is going to be fast-paced kind of stuff here. So right now it looks like if you're in Chatham, Vinegar Bend, Deer Park as well, Alabama 17, where it meets Alabama or US 45, I should say, getting over to the state line there all the way to places like Wally, Leakesville, Browntown. Right now we have an area of spin that is just to the east of Leakesville. If you're in Leakesville, you got a tornado warning. It looks like it is to the east of 63 in Leakesville right now. And I'll zoom in, I'll just get a road real quick. Let's see here. Grimes Road, Highway 63, Double Branch Road. That's to get a distance for you here. Your area of spin is about 4 miles to the east or east-southeast of Leakesville, Mississippi right now. This is one of our tornado warnings. That's going to move up near Wally, Burbank, Vinegar Bend, north of Deer Park there, and then eventually up to Chatham. So those are the areas that need to be in shelter. Next one, Bendale. If you're near Bendale, Deep Creek Road, you need to be in a safe place. We have a possible tornado that is north of Ramsey Springs there in Stone County. That's moving off to the northeast. If I'm not calling out your location right now, you are not in a warning. You're not in a warning in Lucedale. You're not in a warning in Agricola right now. If you're in Mobile, we have a possible tornado that is right over the airport. So if you're down here near Theodore, Dawes, this is just off to your north. This possible tornado is near the airport, moving away from you. But if you're near USA campus, especially the Magnolia Grove Golf Course, if you're in Sims, go ahead and get into an interior room away from window. We're going to try to do our best to give you the all clear whenever this is done here. And then Chunchula all the way up to Kushla, Georgetown, Creola, Salco, all of those locations are in the warning as well. And we're keeping an eye on any of the spins that are off to the south, but right now they do not look crazy. So a few things that we're tracking. I would say, Matt, the most
most concerning area of rotation right now is the one to the east of Leakesville.
Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and pop up the debris tracker and see if we see anything. Not really. It's kind of hard to pick out. So I'll explain this real quickly again. The radar can look out there and see raindrops. Well, that's how we show you the rain on the radar. But it can also tell what size things are that it's bouncing off of. So the raindrops are all essentially about the same size. So you see that in this sort of purpley color. That's the raindrops. But every once in a while, you see some other blips of color. The radar is seeing something that's bigger than a raindrop. It could be just some limbs. It could be some leaves. It could be birds sometimes that we see. But when we're looking at this, we call the debris tracker, we're looking for these colors embedded within all that shows us that there's some debris getting kicked up into the atmosphere. That's not a real strong signature of it, thankfully, but there is at least a little bit. And here is once again the velocity signature. This shows us the winds, how they go inbound and outbound right from the radar. So not only can you tell the size of the raindrops, we can tell which way they're moving. And if they're moving towards the radar quickly and they're moving away from the radar quickly and right next door, that means we're seeing spin. So that's what we're picking out when we talk about the velocity of the raindrops. So these are speed of the raindrops. That's what we're looking at here. And faster they're moving like that, more likely they are to be spinning. Here's what it looks like back here on the radar. This is regular reflectivity, which means now we're just looking at the rain itself. Wherever you see the yellow coloring, that's where we're seeing the pretty heavy rain. The orange coloring is very heavy rain. And there's a lot of it across the area here this morning. And like Nick was saying, with tropical rain, the raindrops are generally smaller. So it may not look all that impressive. Like, well, we've seen a lot of days where we've seen rain like this on the radar. This is particularly pretty heavy for us here, even for us. This is some heavy rain that we're contending with this morning. Multiple warnings. Every one of these red boxes of tornado warning, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 of them at the current time in our area. 4 tornado warnings. So the atmosphere is really stirred up, really turbulent. We have a tropical system. Even though this is a weak tropical system, even though this one doesn't have a name anymore, they stir up the atmosphere and they can create tornadoes. Now, generally, a tornado in a system like this are going to be weak, which is good. But that doesn't help you if one goes right over your house, right? So that's why we got to keep up with them. Even though they're small, they tend to be weak, they tend to be quick, they tend to be short-lived. They still happen. And, obviously one goes over your house, with 90-mile-per-hour winds. 'Cause like I said, most of them are generally pretty weak, but 90-mile-per-hour winds is still enough to cause damage to your house. So that's why we got to track them. We have heavy rain. Nicholas is trying to find, I think, that one that was for the Mobile County tornado warning. Are we seeing anything here? I'm not really catching it.
Yeah, I'm checking all of my sources, and first of all, let me just say, none of the tornado warnings that we have are confirmed right now. And I have now had the Facebook chat pull up. We have about 2,000 watching on Facebook right now. So we're going to try to address some of your questions as well. But yes, tornado possibly moved over the airport. At least that's where the spin was. So essentially right over the airport in Mobile County, moving north. The area of spin will cross near Howells Ferry Road, move near the Magnolia Grove Golf Course. That's very close to Sims. And if you're on the east side of Sims right now, you're getting some extremely heavy rain. I mean, extremely heavy rain. And on the tail end of that is where the possible tornado is. It is not confirmed right now, and we're having the hardest time trying to find this thing on radar because we're getting blocked. We literally can't see it on radar because it's so close to the airport, and you've heard us say that before. So this is moving up towards 58. So if you're near 158, so if you're in Malvilla or Cushla, you need to go ahead and get into an interior room away from windows. But this is just passing near Sims, and it's moving northeast. So it's going to cross 98 Moffett pretty soon there, and then Alabama 217, Alabama 158. I want to hop north real quick. Let's go up to Bendale. This is our other area of spin right now. This is pretty much right on all the county borders here. So here's George County, there's Bendale, and you can see here Perry Stone. There's your area of spin that's going to move right near Deep Creek, and Matt's switching it to the correlation coefficient, really not seeing anything there. But this is just about a few miles to the northeast of Bendale. This is, or northwest of Bendale, excuse me. It's about 5 miles northwest of Bendale. So that's where that's moving. That is moving off to the northeast. So if you're in Avent, Merrill, go ahead and be prepared to get into your next safe place here pretty soon. Right now near Wally, we have another circulation. So let me zoom out real quick. Mobile's down here. That's one circulation. Bendale's over here. Here's another circulation. Now we're moving up to the east of Leakesville. East of Leakesville, there's another circulation. It is weaker than what it was. It is now located about 6 miles to the east of Leakesville. So Leakesville, this is passing you at this point. You're still under a tornado warning technically, but the actual area spin is passing off to your east right now.
Let's check the one near Alberta as well.
Alberta?
There's
Okay.
no warning for it, but
Thank you.
yeah,
Good catch.
we are seeing some spin there as well. And that's what we're going to have to continue to contend with, is that we are dealing with multiple areas where we could see quick spin ups. And yeah, that's not a warning for this one, but there's definitely some circulation going on in the atmosphere there just north of Alberta on, what is that, County Road 65? Yeah, I think that's what that is. And there might be some debris there. And it looks like a little bit is showing up here on the debris tracker near Gardner Road, County Road 95, I'm sorry. Gardner Road, Greek Cemetery Road, CC Road here in Baldwin County. There's no warning for this yet, but there's definitely some circulation there, so we got to watch that. So we're trying to stay out ahead of things too. We're going to get warnings in, but we try to stay out ahead of the warnings too, so that we can let you know that, hey, this very well could become a warning. If it doesn't become a tornado warning, it may very well become a severe thunderstorm warning before too long. So just be aware of that. There's multiple areas that we're seeing some level of spin. And the reason why you want to really stay out in front of it, because a little area of spin right now can quickly drop. These are quick spin ups. They don't take long. They can happen very, very quickly, and it's going to be really hard to stay out ahead of all these. We're going to do our best here for you as we continue to roll through the morning. It looks like we have dropped at least one of the tornado warnings, so now we're down to 3. The other thing to mention here is all along this line, there are flash flood warnings as well. So we're seeing multiple flash flood warnings. Those will all translate into our area once the core of the system. Remember, we're still waiting in many places on the core of this system, okay? And Nicholas has now gone down into the Gulf here. And
Looks like we might have a water spout that's about to come up right at the center of Gulf Shores.
yeah, I was about to say, anybody in a condo right here, you're going to get a view out the window. You may very well see a water spout. Of course, the issue here is that even these water spouts, they're going to be completely rain wrapped. They're going to be very difficult to see, but that is almost certainly a water spout there. We might have a couple more spinning out in the bay, or trying to anyway. So a lot happening out there right now. It's a very active weather day. It will continue to be an active weather day. In fact, Nicholas, let's get the future cast up.
Sure.
Let's see if we can't pull up the HRRR, as I want to move us forward a little bit. And I want to talk about what we got going on for the rest of the day. It will continue to be very, very active. So here comes the Futurecast, and Nicholas is going to put this in motion. Yeah, there we go. And as we go through lunchtime, look at this, all this rain. Now, also, we got to keep in mind with the modeling, it shows some areas that looks like, hey, it looks like a break, but there will probably still be some light rain. But we're really going to keep an eye on the core of this. I think around 2, this will still be where the core is at. Probably it's kind of working its way up 65. And this could get really interesting, especially if you're over in the Panhandle. You may be sitting there all day like, what are these guys talking about? You know, it could easily pass off to your northeast and not get much out of it at all today, okay? For some areas, I think some of our coastal areas and Panhandle, not going to get nearly as much as folks west of 65. So this is not going to be, widely shared across the area. There's going to be areas that get a lot more of this, and some areas that just don't get very much. Once again, it looks like the Panhandle kind of misses out in a lot of this. But here's some rain going into the evening tonight. And we'll even have more rain again tomorrow. There'll be kind of some leftover moisture from all this. And I expect a pretty good rain tomorrow on Friday as well. So we're really starting to stack this up with a lot of heavy rainfall, a lot of big rainfall numbers. And Nicholas is going right on through 2 a.m. in the morning. You can see still a few scattered showers. But once again, we'll get back into what's going on currently. I just want to show you that this will be an event that'll take a good bit of the day to get through. This is not going to be quickly moving through and then we're done with it. This is going to be a process, and this is going to be a process that evolves. Looks like we got a new warning, or they just trimmed that back?
They're trimming it down, so we're getting bombarded with questions about where this stuff is. So let's go from north to south again and just point this out.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, so right now we do have a tornado warning that is in place right now for Greene County and Washington County. This includes places like Fruitdale, Vinegar Bend, just north of Deer Park here. So if you're in Chatham, Fruitdale, Vinegar Bend, you have an area of spin that's just off to your south. It's currently located about, let's do 8 miles to the south of Fruitdale, moving off to the northeast. In that area of spin, we do have the potential for a possible tornado. So just go ahead and be in an interior room away from window. If you're in Dwight, Chastang, McIntosh, Seaboard, Hawthorne, Wakerville, you are not in the warning. If you're in Chatham, Uniform, 4 Point, Fruitdale, Vinegar Bend, Burbank, Wally, you are in the tornado warning. Let's move off to the east here. We have a potential tornado that is to the northwest of Bendale in Mississippi. So northwest of Bendale, that's moving right near all the county lines. If you're near Leaf, near the Leaf River, Avent, there along 57, you need to be in an interior room away from window, possible tornado there. If you are in Loosedale, you are not in a tornado warning, and the circulation that was near you earlier has passed. So we are all good there. If you're in Jackson County, you're all good as well. If you're in Alabama Port, Dauphin Island, Bayou La Battery, Bell Fountain, Grand Bay, Irvington, Theodore, Dawes, you are all good right now. There's no threat for you, and they're probably going to turn up that tornado warning pretty soon to take Dawes out of the warning polygon. But what we have been tracking here is a possible tornado that is now moving north of Sims, now moving north of Kushla. You see this one little spot here. Whoa, did they just drop that warning? Hold on. They have canceled the tornado warning here for Mobile County. So all those areas that I just mentioned in Mobile County, they have actually dropped the tornado warning. But I'll tell you, looking here at the velocity picture near Mauvilla, it looks like we might have a small area of spin, or at least some kind of area of stronger wind that is moving near 45. So let me be clear at what's happening right now. There is no tornado warning for downtown Mobile, no tornado warning for Pritchard, Magnolia Grove, the airport, University of South Alabama, there's no tornado warning anymore. McGowan Park, Rangeline, no tornado warning. Dawes, all the way out to Big Creek Lake, no tornado warning there. However, I do want to note that we do still have some rotation that is evident, or at least some wind that is evitation near Mauvilla that's moving up near 45. So if you live along Celeste Road here, I just recommend staying indoors. You're not under a tornado warning anymore officially, but there's still an area of spin that's a little concerning. And based on what I can see on radar, it looks like there could be some strong wind there, and that wind could cause wind damage. So I'd recommend just near Roberts Road, Celeste Road, folks that are near Walter Moore Road, Phil and Jim Road, Oil Field Road, near Chunchula, and in between Chunchula axis there. I'd recommend just staying inside away from windows, as we do have a strong area of wind there. So no tornado warning is active for Mobile County. Mobile County is not under any official tornado warning right now. The only warnings that we have for George and Washington County, and then one, or Greene and Washington County, I should say, and then one for George County as well. It looks like the circulation for the one in George County might be just outside of our area and Perry County. So that's the summary there. Elsewhere across the area, right now we are seeing heavy rain and passing heavy downpours, but there are no other imminent tornado threats, but we're keeping an eye on the velocity just in case for you. Right now, again, no tornado warning active for Mobile County.
Yeah, Nicholas, let's get to the rainfall rates again. This is the, I know we're dealing with the possibility of tornadoes, but overall, this is going to be the bigger issue. The heavy rainfall. These are copious rain producers. I've mentioned this many times this morning. We have the atmosphere is completely stacked. It's about as saturated as it ever gets. Like I said, this is tropical moisture from a remnant tropical system on top of tropical moisture that was already in place anyway. If we hadn't had this system, this Arthur, it hadn't happened at all, we would have still had rain today. We'd still probably had a lot of rain today. But we're adding extra fuel to the fire, so to speak, with this tropical system. And what we have here is what we call the rainfall rate. This is how hard the rain is falling per hour. And we'll zoom in a little bit and look at all these little showers. They don't look like much on the radar, but there's white in here. What I mean by that, look at the scale. Once you get up into the white, we're getting closer to 6 inches per hour. So that's 4.75 inches an hour. Look there, 6 inches an hour, 4.7 inches an hour. Now, thankfully, none of these are sitting on top of you for an hour. So you're not going to get that much rain from any of these little individual cells. But you get 4 or 5 of them rolling over you the next couple of hours, you will. And then the main line, a main batch or core of the system, the whole thing has deeply heavy tropical moisture all the way through. 5, 6 inches per hour, 4 inches per hour. These are copious rain producers, and they'll be, working the way out through. And like I was mentioning earlier too, this will be in a situation that evolves because, these won't just fizzle out. They'll have more moisture getting pulled in from the Gulf, and they'll continue to drop rainfall. They'll continue to be copious rain producers. And this is going to be the big issue here because when you get rainfall rates like this, you're going to get issues, especially on the roads. This is going to, make hydroplaning, a real worry out there. And we know how it goes too. You're driving along and the drainage can't handle this kind of rain. You hit that puddle. Your windshield goes completely, under the waterfall there. You got somebody driving next to you. You know how it is sometimes they're driving a big work truck or something like that, or a semi. They kick that water up, and then you can't see either. So this is why it can be very dangerous with this level of rain here around the area because it is very difficult to drive through. I mean, we do it all the time, right? We drive into blinding rain. It's part of living on the Gulf Coast. It's just part of it. But when there's this much of it around, you can't just drive in it and drive out of it. There's going to be a lot of it. I think Nicholas has some more for us.
A couple of things real quick. In our Facebook chat, did get a report of a funnel cloud near Magnolia Grove Golf Course. That makes complete sense. Also, the sirens are going off at University of South Alabama still. There is no active tornado warning for Mobile County right now. There is no active tornado warning. I do want to go to the reflectivity real quick, point out a couple things. We need to check the Daphne camera pretty soon here. There is a rotating storm that is about to move very near our Daphne camera. It's probably going to move right over the Bayway there. So that's going to be something that we're going to watch. It's not tornado warned, but we're going to see how it looks. And right now, Daphne is in some of the heaviest rain with one of these small rain showers. And we're going to keep an eye on that camera because we could be looking at possibly some spin. And I bet you a few folks have seen funnel clouds today because, I mean, it is so turbulent that it is not hard to get one to happen there. So that's that Daphne camera here. And what I'm going to do real quick.
And I wanted to mention something here. Looking at this camera, this is why you're not going to see a tornado that does happen today.
Yeah.
It's everything is completely rain wrapped, and there's just, if there's a water spout, if there's a tornado, you're not going to be able to get out there and see it. And you definitely don't want to try to do that. It's just going to be blinding type of rain with these cells as they continue to work their way on through.
And zooming this out now, you can kind of see what the visibility is like. If you're about to drive on Interstate 10 on the Bayway, it is about to be very rough for you. It is not going to be fun, but we'll keep an eye on this camera, of course, as this cell moves by. There's a little bit of weak rotation with it right now, but there's weak rotation with pretty much everything right now. So, but as Matt was mentioning, heavy rainfall is a serious concern for us here. But once again, for those of you in the Facebook comments that are concerned, there's no active tornado warning for Mobile County, no active tornado warning for Baldwin County here. We do have one tornado warning that is still in place, and I do want to briefly talk about that, and I'm going to keep an eye on that camera on the side here. Thankfully, and this is great news for us, the spin in the atmosphere, the rotation has weakened significantly with this tornado warning. This tornado warning is currently in place for Washington County and Greene County. So Greene County in Mississippi and Washington County in Alabama. The polygon includes places like Fruitdale, Vinegar-Bend, all the way up to Chatham. Take Alabama 17 up to Chatham there, and those are all the areas that are included in that. There's a couple areas of weak spin. There's a new scan, but it really doesn't look very impressive at all. So we're keeping an eye on this for you. If you're in that tornado warning polygon, we want you to stay in shelter and interior room. But right now, it is not a concern. And let's go back to the Daphne camera now, if we can. So now we're not talking about that. We're talking about something else here. And keeping an eye on that, just kind of scanning.
Hey, Nick, we finally have a flash flood warning that's now in place for considerable damage.
So it has, let's see here. And what county is it for?
Let me click.
And are keeping an eye on the Daphne camera.
It is in Stone County in southeastern Mississippi, so that's just one thing to note at this time.
So a couple things that we're tracking right now. First of all, we're looking at our Daphne camera, the heavy rain. Actually, it looks like now some of the heaviest rain is moved to the north side of the Bayway. We're watching the tail end of that, trying to watch the motion in the clouds there, see if we can see anything as a heavy downpour is passing by there. And checking it on radar, it is pretty rough right now with the heavy rain that's now moving through Spanish Fort up to 25. So that's the camera view there. Let's go back to radar real quick now. And what we'll see, here's the entire area in view. We have two active tornado warnings right now, I should say. Right now, no tornado warnings for Mobile or Baldwin County. Let's go through the tornado warnings, and we'll talk about that flash flood warning. The tornado warning that's currently in place for Greene County and Washington County, including Fruitdale, Vinegar Bend. The rotation's not super strong there, but we'll keep you updated just in case we see anything. And then hopping over to George and Greene counties here, we do have another area of spin that is about to move very near Leaf. Here's Leaf right here. The Leaf River runs right here. This is 98 here in Greene County. Royce, this is Mississippi 57, and it's this area of spin right here that is still moderately strong. You can see the red and green right next to each other. That shows spin in the atmosphere, and that is moving up. So these are the same areas that we called out earlier. If you are right now near Jericho Loop Road, Jordan Road, near 57 in Leaf, Mississippi, if you're near the Leaf River, near 98, Fort Paradise Road, Merritt Road, Hacks Road, Midway Church Road, getting up to places like Hillman, Mississippi, be prepared. You do have an area of spin that is off to your southwest. Quick update for you here. The tornado warning that was in place for Washington County has now been canceled. The tornado warning that was in place for Washington County has now been canceled. So you can come out of your safe place at this point. So the only place that we have an active tornado warning is in George County in Mississippi, and that's about to move into Greene County, Mississippi. That is the only place that we see right now. Also note we have flash flood warnings just to the west, as Hannah mentioned, and those are probably going to be expanded to our area pretty shortly. So that's the deal. A lot of stuff going on. But again, only active tornado warning is in George County. The spin's about to move into Greene County. If you're near Leaf in Mississippi, you need to be in shelter now.
Yeah, I think if we could, let's bring back up the Daphne camera. We don't have a real tight circulation there, but there is a broad circulation. You can see the dropping of the cloud there. So I don't see anything happening as of yet, but there very well could be a quick spin up here as well. We can kind of see some scud there. Scud clouds are the people tend to misidentify them with tornadoes sometimes. It does mean there's usually a good updraft in the storm. All right, so now we're cutting to the Bayway. Yeah, this camera's got a lot of rain on, so it's kind of hard to see. Look how dark the water is there. So it's yeah, we're still watching. Come on, guys. The DOT cameras always cut out after about 5 seconds. Here's your Eastern Shore Toyota camera network on the Eastern Shore. This is our camera, and you can see the lowering there of the clouds. It's not quite coming on down to the surface, but it's not far. There's definitely some rotation going on there, and this is working its way here across the bay. The Bayway, of course, is right there on the right-hand side of your screen, and once again, just a menacing-looking cloud there with some heavy rain. It has lightened up a little bit there, so that's good news, but there has been some very heavy rain over there on the Eastern Shore, and we're continuing to see what looks like a really ugly cloud there. It's not, doesn't have the full spin to it as of now, but it's definitely got that look to it here, and we'll keep an eye on it for you.
Yeah, by the way, it looks like that heaviest rain that we saw earlier, that is now up north of Spanish Fort. So it's these little cells that are passing through. I do want to mention, and Matt, we've been talking about this over and over and over again, these little areas of spin. This is one that we're tracking right now. That's what it looks like from the ground with that Daphne camera that we showed you earlier. But there's another little area of weak rotation that is moving north of Foley right now in Summerdale. This is a very heavy rain shower. I mean, that is an extremely heavy rain shower. But if you're in Summerdale, you're probably not going to see much, but their clouds are probably looking very turbulent, especially if it's not raining super hard where you are, and that's moving up near Robertsdale. So that's something that we're going to keep an eye on here. Also, take a look at it here near the Perdido River, near Muskogee, near Cantonment here in northwest Florida. So this is the first time I've called out a Florida location. A weak little rain shower there that is very weakly rotating. So none of these are tornado warned right now. They're not an imminent concern, but understand that all these little things are spinning a little quite a bit. So a quick update here on our tornado warning that was in place for George County. It looks like they have canceled that tornado warning. So right now the deal is that we have no active tornado warnings. That's actually kind of surprising because right now it looks like there's an area of spin that's pretty strong near Leaf in Mississippi. That's about to cross 98. So I'm interested to see what the Weather Service is going to do there. But right now they have canceled that. I'm not sure what the thinking is. But here's a look at it on reflectivity. And you can see near Leaf, you have a hook that is showing right there. It's about to cross 98. These are some of the same areas that we called out earlier. And this is going to move up towards near Hillman pretty soon. So that's one of our strongest thunderstorms right now. The rainfall rate is crazy with it right now. But that's one area that we're going to keep a close eye on. But now, officially, we can say that in our area we have no active tornado warnings. So there are no active tornado warnings in our area right now. However, we do still have a severe thunderstorm warning that is in place for George, Greene, also parts of Mobile and Washington County. And that one does have a tornado possible tag with it. And that's something we're going to keep an eye on. I mentioned that area of spin near Leaf, that storm that is rotating near Leaf. That's something that we have to watch closely, and we will see if we get any other active warnings. Matt's been telling us about the insane flooding threat as well and the insane rainfall rates that we've had. And Matt, that seems to be a top concern right now as well.
Yeah, that's where I wanted to move us into next is these rainfall rates. The rainfall totals that we have seen overnight going into this morning have been very, very high. And this is, once again, this product is called the rainfall rate. This is how much rain is falling per hour. So this is the radar looking into how heavy the rainfall rate is currently and giving you an idea of what the possibilities are. And this has been even for us, these have been some very high rainfall rates that we've seen this morning with some of these cells, 3, 4, 5, even 6 inches to 7 inches per hour of rainfall. Now, a lot of times, especially these little ones out in front, they're not going to sit over you for an hour, so you don't get quite as much rain as that. But as you get multiple of these little storms, they add up, and that's what's going to be happening for you here. I mean, look at this. This one here just north of Daphne, 5.75 inches per hour, 5.5 inches per hour, 6 inches per hour, 6 inches per hour. That causes major issues because there is no drainage system that can handle that level of rain that quickly. So it just piles up in the roads, piles up in the ditches, piles up in the culverts. And we know what that does. It makes it very difficult to get around. It makes things dangerous to get around. It could actually, flood property if it gets enough of it going down into our streams and our creeks. And there's going to be a lot of that. We're going to see all of our river levels here over the next day or so going up, and probably very quickly in some spots, depending on these rainfall rates. And yeah, like this one here, actually, Nick, let's go back here real quick. This one north of Seminole, that's the watershed of Styx River. So you put that down on Styx River, Styx rivers are going to go up very quickly. It's a small watershed. You pour a lot of water onto it real quickly, it goes up real quickly. Same with the Fish River. Some of our smaller rivers and creeks, they go up very, very quickly. When you get something like that right on top of the watershed, that means big rainfall, the river level there, like the Styx River, will go up very, very quickly.
And Matt, that's a very, very, very good point because we stressed that yesterday, and probably I think maybe we didn't even stress it enough. If you live near one of these creeks, this is the possibility today of rapid rise. And if you live near one of these creeks, and whenever you get a ton of rainfall and rapid water rise like that, it's going to cause issues. You need to be prepared for that. And that's what we were trying to make you aware of today. So that's the big deal there. And these are even the small rain showers. These are not the big ones that are up in our Mississippi counties right now. And it looks like we have a new tornado warning. Matt?
Yep, we do in Leakesville.
So let's get right to that.
Yep, so that was one you were looking at just a little while ago, Nicholas. And it looks like they've decided to go with a tornado warning on that one. That is, again, going to be in Leakesville, Greene County. How many? That's probably like the 6 or maybe
I don't even know.
So, tornado warning in Greene County. So you folks just stay under the gun here. Again, this is going to be up around the Leakesville area. I've been keeping an eye on. Nicholas was just pointing this out. There is a circulation here. You can see a bit of a bend there in the reflectivity. So it's showing a bit of a hook right through there, just south of McLean, north of Haven. And there it is. Shows up perfectly with that hook, which means that's a pretty good circulation. That's why they just posted the new warning. So we have a new warning. This will be going through 11 a.m. here this morning. This will include Clark, Leakesville, Bradley, Vernal. Once again, this is moving off to the northeast, probably about 30 miles an hour, is what I'm guessing here.
Your forward motion on this warning is to the northeast at 25 miles per hour. Close enough, and there's a possible tornado right over Leaf right now. I'm keeping an eye on the correlation coefficient.
Yeah, showing up a little bit. Once again, it can be hard to tell sometimes, but this is the debris tracker. Once again, it's going to be right around Leaf, Bracton Lane, Highway 98, of course, and then Merritt Road, Midway Church Road, Royce, Hicks Camp Road. So all in through this area in Greene County, they're in Mississippi, Greene County, near Leaf. This is where we're getting the heaviest rain right down near the Pascagoula River up that way. And then also we're getting some heavy rain as well up towards Leakesville. Now, Leakesville, this part of it's not to you yet, but you need to be taking shelter again. I know for maybe the fourth or fifth time this morning, we're dealing once again with the possibility of a tornado in your area. This is once again a tornado warning. This will be up through 11 a.m. here this morning, and heavy rain is also with this. A lot of lightning as well that we're contending with the system as it works its way on through.
So right now the possible tornado is moving over the Leaf River essentially, and then it's going to cross 98 here pretty soon. To show you where this is on the map, the Leaf River is located right here. This is Mississippi 57, Royce and Leaf. This is about to cross 98. Thankfully, this is not a super highly populated area here. Gatlin Creek Road is one road that is near this. And then our next folks in line will be near Hillman. And I'll zoom the map out so you can see this. So here's your area of SPIM right here. And then what you see is just off to the northeast, you have Hillman and Bradley. And those are our next locations in line. Mississippi 57 near the intersection of Herndon Road and 57 there near Hillman. Jones County Junior College in Greene County High School. These are just outside of Leakesville right now. Old Highway 24 and Herndon Road. Those are just some of your locations. And of course in Neely as well, where Neely Road intersects with Mississippi 57. That's our area of most concern right now if you live anywhere in these areas that I'm calling out. Now, thankfully, there are parts of it that are very rural, but if you live on any of those roads, which a lot of folks do, you need to be seeking shelter. And the way you seek tornado shelter is in an interior room away from windows. So we want you to put as many walls between you and the outside world as possible. Also, and I know these tornado warnings are coming so quick, it may be hard to do this, but if you're listening to me now and you're not in a tornado warning, go ahead and find a bicycle helmet, something like that, and put it in your tornado safe place. Also, some good hefty shoes. Be sure to put those in your safe place as well. Just small things that you don't think about it, but whenever you get a tornado that hits you, debris is shattered everywhere, and you don't want to protect your head, of course, and you might have to walk through some of that. So a couple of your tornado tips for you. Right now, if you're in Leakesville, you need to be in shelter. If you're in Bradley as well, you need to be in shelter. This warning does not include Browntown, does not include Loosedale, does not include Fruitdale or State Line. Vinegar Bend, Deer Park, you are not in this at this moment. So this is a McLean, Bradley, Leakesville, and Hillman issue right now.
Yeah, so obviously let's reset here, Nicholas. Let's show big picture here. Obviously, this is going to be a long-running event today. We're going to be dealing with a lot. Very heavy rain. This is a tropical system that's falling apart, and here we are dealing with many issues from this. So a lot of times, it's hard to tell you folks to understand that sometimes even a weak tropical system can have major impacts, and sometimes a stronger tropical system can have far fewer impacts, just depending on how things work out. And this one is just going to get us here today. It's heavy rain, multiple warnings here, lots of lightning. it does seem to be kind of broadening out overall, but still spreading a lot of rain. It's like almost like this core is kind of falling apart a little bit, but there's still a lot of lightning back here on the back end of all this. And what we're seeing is that the system is evolving as it's moving, and it's still running over the same spots over and over again. And the rainfall totals are going to be, well, already starting to be pretty epic in some spots across South Mississippi. And that's going to eventually translate into our area. And you can see this streak here is just growing. It was, basically in Louisiana, but as now, yeah, see how it goes over time. Here comes that rain spreading on across into Mississippi, and just kind of, sort of paint this out. It's going to continue to work its way into our area, and it's going to be this streak, I think, that goes probably just north of 65, just about like this. We're going to see the heaviest rainfall today, say up around Jackson, say up around Monroeville, say up around Evergreen. I think these are the areas that see the heaviest amounts of rain. Now, we'll also get plenty of rain in the southern part of our area too, but that will be where the worst of it's at today as that streak continues to work its way on eastward. Heavy rain. We're zooming into all the different warnings. We have a tornado warning in and around Leakesville, McLean area.
And it's those thunderstorms, by the way, that are the ones that are dumping the most rain right now.
Oh, yes, yes. These core storms, these are the ones that have rainfall rates of 5, maybe 6 or even 7 inches per hour in them. And they will be around for a while, so they'll be able to dump that amount of rain here on you, and as they'll continue to dump that rain, and we'll probably see those kind of rainfall totals overall. Now, keep in mind rainfall rates per hour, and if the storm, even you got a really heavy storm that's dropping 5 inches of rain per hour, but only stays over you for half an hour, you get 2.5 inches of rain. So, but you get one stays over for 2 hours, then you get 10 inches of rain. So that's going to be the issue here. I think for some of these core storms, we'll see them over us for a while, and that's going to create the really big rainfall totals.
So looking at the tornado warning that is for Greene County right now, and it does include Leakesville still, it looks like it really tightened quickly over Leaf, and now it's weakening again. And these are cyclic. These spin up, go down, spin up, go down. We've talked about that before, so it makes it really hard with the warnings. But again, that's the warning that is still in place right now. It does still include Leakesville. So at least for the moment, until I go in and give you the all clear, I'd recommend that you stay in shelter here. Crossing 98 right now, the area of spin, and then moving off to northeast. It looks like they have dropped the severe thunderstorm warning, which is a nice thing for us here. I'll zoom out and kind of give us a little reset here. So we have dropped the severe thunderstorm warning. So the only active big warning that we have right now is a tornado warning in Greene County. One quick note real quick, something I noticed doing some radar scans elsewhere. I want to go over Baldwin County. There is a pretty defined area of spin, a couple areas of spin going on right now, and one of them going right over downtown Fairhope. So if you're in Fairhope, right along Greeno Road, along County Road 13 as well in Fairhope, you are probably getting some extremely strong wind right now. I want to check the velocities on that real quick. But what you see here, and I'll switch to this product. You see that area of red and green? There's a storm that is rotating that is right over Fairhope. It's not producing a tornado right now, but it's a spinning storm. And sometimes with these you can get some strong winds, and the velocity doesn't look that crazy, around 25 miles per hour or so. It looks like it was a little stronger in the relative view, but that shows that the storm is spinning. I'm going to keep an eye on that for you. There's also another area of spin here near Rossington. This is Buc-ee's is located right here. That's County Road 64 in a broader area of spin, and also a spin that's over Daphne as well, kind of moving over Lake Forest. And these are these little small rain showers, excuse me, ahead of the main batch of rain. So that's the deal there in Baldwin County. Ooh, and I will also point out that here in Escambia County, Florida, north of Cantonment and to the west of Molino, we do have a small area of spin there that is moving off to the north and east. So something that we're going to keep in mind as well. And what on earth does that sound? You hear that? I don't know. Anyways, hearing something weird in the studio here. I want to zoom out real quick, and I want to check into our tornado warning that is currently ongoing. And we have a new flash flood warning that's been issued as well. So let's break this down. We have a tornado warning that is in place right now that does include Leakesville. The tornado signature does not look as impressive as it was, but if you're near Bradley, this is coming up towards you. So we just want to honor that and be aware of that. But we do have a new flash flood warning here that is in place. That is going to include parts of George and Greene counties, and this flash flood warning is a base flash flood warning. So this flash flood warning did not trigger wireless emergency alerts on your phone. If you have the Fox 10 weather app, you did get an alert though on your phone. The only ones that trigger alerts on the phone is if it goes up to a considerable tag, if they upgrade the warning, say the warning's more serious. In this case, this is a base level flash flood warning that goes until 4:30 p.m. for George and Greene counties because of the heavy rain that has fallen there. So just be aware, driving is not recommended because we've already had so much rain and there is a lot more rain to come there. I want to check in elsewhere across the area right now. If you're near the coast, your rain rates have been a lot less at this moment. We are keeping an eye off to our west though. Right now, if you're in places like Pascagoula, Hurley, it's just barely anything. But eventually, you will see that these thunderstorms, and look at the amount of lightning that is with these, are going to slowly push our way. So eventually, we're going to be looking at the possibility of some rougher conditions and some very heavy rain in your area as well. So right now, new flash flood warning for George and Greene County. You're going to see that crawling at the bottom of the screen. And also we have that tornado warning for Greene County as well. No active tornado warnings anywhere else across the area. One quick note for you, if you have photos or videos that you would like to send us, you can do so. On the Fox 10 weather app, there's a way to submit pictures and videos. A little form you fill out and you do it there. I've seen in the comments of some folks saying they have pictures of funnel clouds. If you have those, please send them to us. Even if you want to message them to us on Facebook, you can do so as well, and we'll be able to get those that way. The easiest way for us to get them on air, though, is through our Fox 10 weather app. You can also submit them on our website, even going on your phone, fox10tv.com. You will see submit your pictures and videos, and that is where you can submit those photos as well. So just kind of the summary of the things going on. Your time now is 10:34. One active tornado warning in place, and it's for Greene County in Mississippi right now. And it does include places like Leakesville. Checking in on the rotation, it is not as strong as it was, Matt.
Yeah, it looks that way. So hopefully we can see that stay weak up that away. But the main thing here is, once again, a lot of heavy rain that we're going to continue to contend with as this continues to work its way on through. And unfortunately, what we're seeing over here, especially in Mississippi, is that these are training. These storms are going along kind of the same track over the last several hours here through central Mississippi. This is going to cause some really big rainfall totals here. And my worry here is once this slides over into our area, it's going to take a little while to do that. Then we're going to see those kind of rainfall rates. And I think the streak of very high rainfall totals is going to continue on, like basically along I-65 or maybe just a bit north of I-65, where we're going to see some significant rainfall numbers out of all this. We expected to see that, but it's starting to shape up now. We're starting to see where we can see some of the highest totals. And it's going to be continuing on in this line right through here. Once again, probably kind of paralleling I-65. So I would say Washington County, parts of Clark County, Monroe County, Connecticut County, probably the northern part of Mobile, the northern part of Baldwin counties. This is where we're going to see the biggest rainfall totals out of all this. Now, it doesn't mean we won't see other big rainfall totals, but I think that's where the biggest rainfall totals will be. The totals approaching maybe even as much as 10 inches in spots. So we're going to continue to watch that as this continues to work its way on eastward. A lot of lightning in these two as well.
This is a 4-hour loop, by the way.
Yeah, 4 hours.
So that is at least 4 hours of rain there.
Yeah, and it hasn't moved much.
That's incredible.
Yeah, that's not great for folks over Mississippi, especially along Highway 49 over there. This, like I said, though, it translates over into our area eventually. Even though it's taking its time to get over here, eventually it will. And then we'll be talking about high rainfall rates in our area. We're keeping an eye on another area of circulation there, just north of Fairhope. I know we were looking at the Fairhope camera just a second ago. This is on the other side, so you're probably not going to see anything there, but we might be able to see some heavy rain falling there. Once again, this is going to be in the Montrose area along 181. Storm moving northward here up towards Malbus, and there's just seemed to be some rotation here. Now, there's no warning with this storm, okay? It's very small, but it's going to pack a punch. It's got a lot of very heavy rain, It's got some lightning with it, and it looks like it has some rotation as well.
Yeah, it looks like the heaviest rain right now is near Bell Forest and County Road 64, 181, that intersection there. If you were to take 64 from Bell Forest to Loxley, that's where the streak of heaviest rain is right now. The spin is on the backside of this. And to give you reference on why I'm focusing on this one and not the other ones, look at this area here of red and green versus this area of red and green. Notice that they're brighter. The red is deeper. Compare that to this one, which is a little, it doesn't show out as much. It's not as bright. It's not as clear. So that's why I'm focusing on that one a little bit more. It's not meeting the threshold of getting a warning right now. I just wanted to shout it out. There's probably some gusty winds, and I bet you somebody's seeing some creepy looking clouds, some spinning clouds out there right now. So that's the deal right now here near Bell Forest and County Road 64, 181. That seems to be the area that is getting some of the heavy rain right now, and also that little rotating storm.
Yeah, so we're continuing to track all this as it continues to work its way on through. Very heavy rain. We do have a tornado warning still over in Greene County. We have a flash flood warning that encompasses all of Greene County and all of almost all of George County as well. Did we just? Yeah, it looks like we've got an update. They trimmed the warning back. So what the Weather Service does is, as the area of rotation moves along, they trim back the back end to let folks know, like back in McLean, you are now out of this one. You're not in it anymore. You are now out of that tornado warning, and the tornado warning has moved along, and they're still keeping it up. It's very broad, hard to see, but we're definitely getting some heavy rain and some rotation there around the Bradley area, and it's going to continue to work its way over towards Leakesville, and then eventually over towards the state line there between Mississippi and Alabama, going over towards Vinegar Bend and Fruitdale.
Yeah, and actually just putting this into motion, I wanted to see kind of how this looked over time. And you can see that the rotation was much stronger once it was near the county line, and now it's starting to broaden out. I would not be surprised here. This goes until 11, and I think this is far enough away from expiration time where they might consider canceling it, and we will see what the Weather Service ends up doing there. But right now, that is the only active tornado warning that we have. That is not the only area of rotation, though. That is across our area right now. There are plenty of areas that are spinning, and I want to take you on a tour of those now. Right now, we are not seeing any major areas of spin in our inland counties except for the weak rotation that has still prompted the tornado warning in Greene County. That does include Leakesville. So technically, Leakesville, you still need to be in a safe place away from windows. You can see some very broad rotation there south of Chatham. That is not an issue, though, and heavy rain is falling in places like Coffeyville, Jackson there. Taking a look down to the south near Loosedale. This one near Loosedale, you see a little bit of lightning associated with this one there. It's broad, but it's something we'll keep an eye on. Bexley as well, Vernal, but that one is not a major concern. Now, there is some strong wind happening near Deep Creek that's about to get to Mississippi 57 here, and actually you see, nope. Of course, it's near Leaf once again, but there's a little maybe area of spin trying to develop on the top side of that. So that's something we'll keep an eye on. That is not tornado warning at this time. Leaf, right now, technically, you're in the all clear. They have trimmed you out of that possible or of that tornado warning there. Heading over to Baldwin County, this is that area of spin that we talked about. This is now near 64, crossing over 64 in Bell Forest. This is not an active tornado warning, but you can see Malbus is right here. There's 181. There's 90 taking you down to Loxley, 64 running up to Loxley as well. An area of spin there, and checking the reflectivity as well. There's a band of very heavy rain that is there right along Interstate 10. So if we look at the reflectivity, you can see that's, I mean, extremely heavy rain. It's not fun stuff to drive through there, just to the east of Malbus. So that's one of the areas that we're watching closely. Up near Gateswood, we have one heavier shower as well, and that one also has a little hook to it, and checking the velocity. I'm interested to see. Pretty weak there, but there's still just a little bit getting shown. So other than that, it looks like we're keeping an eye down at the coast. Some of the spinners that were happening offshore earlier, not as many right now, all these little weak showers that were rotating. So that's good news for us. We're going to keep an eye and see if we have any others that are developing. And in Northwest Florida right now, keeping an eye on these rain showers, checking that one shower just south of Jay there. But it looks like if you're along the immediate coast here, Pensacola, Gulf Breeze, you are clear right now. It is all the areas inland of inland Escambia County, inland Santa Rosa County. That's where you have that heavier rain that's falling. And a couple of these are spinning right now, but it is not a major concern. So that's kind of a tour of where everybody is right now. Thankfully, we do not have any tornado warnings for Mobile or Baldwin County right now, and they have actually just let, as I was kind of mentioning here, they have just let that tornado warning go for Greene County. So right now we have no active tornado warnings across the Fox 10 viewing area. If you have been sheltering for a tornado warning, you can now come out of that. There is still a flash flood warning, though, as you can see for George and Greene County there. Matt, that's flash flooding, something that we'll keep an eye on too.
Yeah, let me go ahead and put a little bit of a bow on this here. I want to take a break here in just a moment. What we're looking at here, once again, no active tornado warnings in our area. We'll continue to have many issues with the very heavy rain as we continue to go through the morning. We're going to have flash flood warnings. You'll almost certainly hear your phone go off at some point for those. We're going to have a lot of that happening a little bit later on. We're going to take a brief break here. We're not going anywhere. We'll be right back here, keeping you up to date throughout the morning as we continue to contend with the remnants of Tropical Storm Arthur.
Into Fox 10 midday on this Thursday morning. Meteorologist Nicholas Herboso, Lee Peck here. You and Matt have been really busy since about 8 o'clock this morning. It's a storm tracker alert day here on the Gulf Coast. What's the situation right now?
Situation right now is no active tornado warnings, which is great for us, which is why we are streaming instead of on air. But we have no active tornado warnings. We do have some flash flood warnings, though, and we're going to start talking a lot more about the flash flooding situation. So I want to go ahead and get right to this here, and let's go to the weather wall. I'm going to be driving the radar from the weather wall here. So here's the situation right now behind me, and this is the very active radar that you can see. And actually, I'll pull this out of the way. I want you to look. This is the lightning layer that we have over this too. Some very intense lightning right now across northern Harrison County in Mississippi. And also you see these maroon polygons here. Those are flash flood warnings that are in place. So plenty of issues here. We are also keeping a close eye on the spin situation across the area here, because we do still have these little small rain showers, and a couple of them are still rotating. Now, there's no active tornado warnings for our area. So if you are joining us right now, we do not have any active tornado warnings, hence the reason why we are not on television right now. A couple of notes for you here before we dive into the radar. If you have any photos or videos to send us, you can send them in on the Fox 10 weather app. I have the ability to see those here. So all you need to do is head to the Fox 10 weather app and send it. If you have flooding video, if you have video of funnel clouds, you can set it in there. Also, you can also submit your pictures on social media. It's a little bit more of a process to do that, but if it's an easier process for you to message back and forth, please do so. We really need those photos so we can see what's going on. So those would be greatly appreciated here. Other notes for you: we are live streaming right now, and we recommend that you have the Fox 10 weather app, the Fox 10 Gulfstream app, to be able to access our live streams. And if we get another active tornado warning, or if the flash flooding situation gets serious enough, we will go live on Facebook as well. And typically we have access to the Facebook stream, so we'll be able to get your information there. Let's go through the radar situation right now. And here's the view across the area. And if I loop this here, what you're going to see is there's a couple areas that are really, really intense. You have one band of rainfall that we've been talking about earlier that has set up essentially from Slidell, Louisiana, going all the way up to places like Leakesville and Chatham. This band is going to continue for the next few hours, and it's going to be leading to some very intense lightning, some extremely heavy rain. And when I say extra, I use the strongest word. This is the most torrential rain that you might ever see, because this is tropical related rain. And what you see here near Leakesville, there's a thunderstorm approaching you there. You're about to get into a huge downpour there. Also, what we've been seeing, there's a severe thunderstorm warning now for Stone County in Mississippi. What we're seeing here is brief areas of spin or rotation in this band as well, and that is also leading to concern. But right now we have no active tornado warnings. Ahead of this main line here, which, by the way, this line is not one that is moving like this across the area. It's more stationary, and there are just extra rain showers ahead of the line. Taking a look at these here, this is across northwest Florida, across Mobile and Baldwin counties, all these little rain showers. When these rain showers pass you, the rain is extremely heavy. I mean extremely heavy as we pass through. It's quick, but it's heavy. It's not fun to drive through, speaking from experience, because I had to drive through it early this morning. You can see some of these are producing lightning, and some of these have this comma shape to them, or this little hook shape there. A couple of them are rotating, and if I were to pause the radar here and go to the velocity product, where we look at wind in the atmosphere, I see one little area of spin right there, one 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 right there. You get the idea. I'm pointing out all these very small areas of weak spin in the atmosphere. The thunderstorms are rotating a bit. If any of these areas of spin can tighten up and become stronger, then we will be looking for the possibility of tornado. But right now we do not see that, which is good news there. I want to hop over to the main line and check out what's going on in the spin situation there. Right now it does look like we have a couple areas of spin that are suspect right now near Leakesville. So we're going to zoom in on that. If you're joining us near Leakesville right now, your situation is as follows. Probably seeing some gusty winds. As you can see as well, very heavy rain. But in the intersection of these two little thunderstorms here, it does look like there's maybe just a bit of spin that we're watching, and maybe another area just south of Wally. These are some of the areas that we were talking about earlier when we had active tornado warnings, but now we're just not seeing that. So here's the newest scan of the radar. We have one small band that is set up here near the state line, near Browntown, near the intersection of Washington, Mobile, and Greene counties in Mississippi here. What you're looking at, this is Mississippi 63. Here's Leakesville. So some heavy thunderstorms going on here, and maybe a little bit of rotation embedded in those as we have a lot of lightning going on, but right now no active tornado warnings. Checking out the velocity here, a few areas that look very turbulent, definitely, but no imminent concerns there. So if you're joining us from Leakesville, you're going to continue to get heavy rain. I want to talk a little bit about the flash flood warning that is currently in place. This flash flood warning goes technically until 4:30, but we're going to see extensions of this because this is going to be a significant flooding situation. You have this heavy thunderstorm that has been moving over your area for quite a while. And now, if I were to put this into motion over the last hour, what you'll see is that the rainfall rate has been really quite heavy for us. And looking at the details on the warning, flash flood warning for northern George County and southeastern Mississippi, Greene County as well in southeastern Mississippi. This goes until 4:30 p.m. The details on the warning at 10:31 a.m. Doppler radar indicated thunderstorms producing heavy rain across the warned area. Between 3 and 5 inches of rain have already fallen. Between 3 and 5 inches, and additional rainfall is expected. Flash flooding is ongoing or expected to begin shortly. So hazard flash flooding caused by thunderstorms is radar indicated right now. One thing that they note in the warning, if you live near small creeks and streams, we could see rapid rise of some of the rivers and creeks here. We're going to be keeping a close eye on that. You need to be prepared for possible short-term river flooding or creek flooding. And if that's something that regularly impacts you, you want to be ready for that, especially in this warned area here. Again, this maroon polygon is a flash flood warning. This particular flash flood warning did not trigger wireless emergency alerts, meaning on your phone when it makes the really loud noise. This did not trigger it. There are other types of warnings that will trigger it if this gets upgraded to a higher end flash flood warning. There are different levels of flash flood warning. If it gets upgraded to a higher end flash flood warning, then it will trigger the wireless emergency alert. So that's the radar loop there. I want to look at what's coming at us real quick. How about this? Some very, very impressive lightning right now happening in northern Harrison County. And actually, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning here. I do want to point this out. So this severe thunderstorm warning is in place for Stone County, and Harrison Stone counties is really where this heaviest thunderstorm is now. Eventually, it's going to move into the same areas that we were already talking about in George County, but also it looks like this one might even clip far northern Jackson County in Mississippi. So this severe thunderstorm warning is in place for Stone County. It goes until 11:45 a.m. and it does have a tornado possible tag. And let's take a look at this here in a second. First of all, lightning output is quite frankly nuts. Here's a look at the lightning output over the last 15 minutes. Wow. And that is almost 1,500 strikes. That's one of the higher numbers that I've seen. The last time I saw numbers that high was I want to say that was not October. It was a June event where we had flash flooding in Pensacola. And there was one thunderstorm that produced prolific lightning there. I think that's the last time I've seen lightning rates that frequent here. So that's the lightning situation. Let's take a look at the rotation situation. Zooming in now into Stone County where the severe thunderstorm warning is. There are a couple areas of spin. I'm going to loop this just so I can get the idea of where this is. And what we're seeing here, it looks really rather messy. We'll have to watch near McHenry here as this moves off to the northeast. But this is just outside. This is just a county outside of our Fox 10 viewing area. Why are you talking about it? Well, we're talking about it because eventually it's going to move into places like the same places I've had to talk about over and over again. From Leaf, McLean, all the way down to places like Bendale. This is where that heavy thunderstorm is moving in soon. So you need to be prepared for that. Severe thunderstorm warning again for Stone County that is happening now, and we'll be watching to see if that thunderstorm moves into our area. given the severity of the flash flooding going on in Stone County right now and water rescues happening in Stone County, Mississippi, they are upgrading to a flash flood emergency for Stone County. Just remember when I talked about the levels of flash flood warnings, the highest end level flash flood warning is a flash flood emergency. And because we have seen such prolific rainfall in Stone County, Mississippi, just outside of our viewing area, there are water rescues going on right now. We've seen multiple images and videos of roads washed out in Wiggins from our sister station there in Biloxi, and just terrible situation with water rescues. So now this is a flash flood emergency. This is the highest end threat that you can have, a flash flood emergency for Stone County. And I want to go and look at some of the, first of all, rain rates happening with this right now. Here you go. This is a look at it. And what you see here in Stone County, this bright area, that is extremely high rainfall rates that is continuing on top of the rain that has already fallen. Looking at the rainfall rates here, I think we're exceeding 6 inches, around 5 to 6 inches per hour in the heaviest of the rain. So that is a serious situation there. I want to show you what the estimated rainfall totals here are in Stone County and also in George and Greene counties, because those numbers are also starting to come up just a little bit. We'll query some of these for you. So near Leaf, which is an area that has seen prolific rainfall for over and over again, 3.3 inches. What you see 4 inches there right near the northwestern corner of George County. In Stone County near Wiggins, this has 7.5 inches. Just got a report from Stone County EMA of 10 inches of rain in Stone County since midnight. 10 inches of rain. Take a look at the query here, 8.1 inches. Looking at northern Harrison County, you can see 10.2 inches. So that's the kind of rainfall totals that we're talking about. It's still raining at 6 inches per hour right now. So that's the situation there. This band is moving into our area, though, and that is the concern for us locally. Here's a summary of the alerts. Again, you have a severe thunderstorm warning there for Stone County and a flash flood emergency. Flash flood warning does continue for portions of George and Greene counties in Mississippi. Then you see elsewhere across the area, this is a tornado watch. The tornado watch continues until 5 p.m. We're going to have enough wind shear in the atmosphere to possibly lead to some weak spin-up tornadoes, as we have already seen today. So that's going to be something that we're watching closely. We will let you know if we do have any alerts there. The Storm Prediction Center is maintaining a slight risk, level 2 out of 5 of severe weather for the entire area. The main driving factor of this is that potential for a low-end, weak spin-up tornado. So that is why we have that in place. Also, I want to show you this. This is something that I have to think back. I don't know the last time that I saw a high risk of flash flooding in for our area, but that's what we have here. So this is a product issued by the Weather Prediction Center, flash flooding risk. It's technically called the excessive rainfall outlook. And what you see here, greater than 70% chance of excessive rainfall. That is almost a guarantee that we're going to see flash flooding in this area. Therefore, we have that high risk of flash flooding. That is exceedingly rare to see this issued. If you think back to your significant flash flooding situations that have made a lot of news recently, those, as you can see here, those, I don't recall them even having a high risk. So that's going to be a pretty serious situation. Around this is a moderate risk of flash flooding, and it's going to be a serious deal. I want to take you through Futurecast now. Let's take you through and see what this rain looks like as we go through it. So what you're looking at here, this is at 12 noon. The heavy band of rain still being initialized by the forecast model there, with showers and thunderstorms ahead of the line. Pushing this through, this is 2 o'clock, and still the rain is in those areas. Finally, the places around Slidell start to calm down. But along Interstate 65, which I'm a little concerned, if we do this, get this band setting up right along Interstate 65, that would be a terrible situation with flooding on a major interstate. But this is 2 p.m. and still heavy rain falling. If you are in the beaches of Pensacola Beach, Navarre, it does look like a calmer situation for you as we go into the early part of the afternoon. Here's 4 p.m. That band still back building, the showers and thunderstorms building back. They're not really moving anywhere. They keep redeveloping over over our Mississippi counties and training over the same areas here. This is 6 p.m. and still you see, well, it's likely going to be incredible rainfall here in a streak, possibly near northern Baldwin County or Mobile County. Places like Atmore, Bruton, Evergreen, Monroeville, all of these locations could get into some really heavy rain as we go later on today. And then 8 p.m., this is incredible. This band is still here and it's fed by abundant tropical moisture. 9 o'clock tonight, it's still there. 10, oh my gosh, 11 o'clock at night, it is still there. So that would be a serious flash flooding situation setting up. And that's 3:15 a.m. and it's still there. So what that could lead to is potentially rainfall amounts that could be epic, exceeding 10 inches and possibly exceeding around 20 inches. I do want to note traffic real quick. We have had a couple situations that we have been keeping an eye on. Now it looks like things are calming down a little bit. We had an accident earlier that slowed things down near Malbus in 181. That's long gone now. Are starting to see a little bit of buildup into the tunnel as well, so just keep that in mind. We had an accident near 65 that is fine as well. But if you're driving through any of these areas that have heavy rain going on, it is not a fun situation. I'll turn on the road weather index and I won't have the legend on there, but anywhere you see these dark blues, that is extremely heavy rainfall. And driving right now on US 45 or US 98 would be less than advised. I would not recommend doing that. If you're trying to get yourself up to Wayne County from Mobile, just forget about it. It's really not a great situation. If you're trying to get up to Hattiesburg, it's not going to be great. The roads are getting dangerous out there, and that is a key point. So that's the situation there. I want to go back, and I'm going to pull something in real quick. I just wanted to check this. I want to check the HRRR forecast model that we looked at here just a few moments ago. I'm going to check a different one real quick, and I want to check the total rainfall from it. So this is a different run of this forecast model. We're going to walk through it together here as we look at this. But as you can see, the Futurecast showing that band of rain persisting into the nighttime hours tonight. Here's Friday on this model. Friday looks a little calmer at the start of the day here. And then as we roll through, here's the afternoon. Still more showers and thunderstorms. That's 5 o'clock p.m. on Friday, and a band of thunderstorms right along Interstate 10. That would be a concern here. I'll stop this around 7 p.m. and you can see still some scattered showers, and that could add to the rainfall totals that we get here on Thursday. Thankfully, it doesn't look as crazy, and as we get to midnight here on our Saturday, things are a little calmer there. And Saturday, it returns to a more regular schedule of scattered showers and thunderstorms. So that's the situation with that forecast model. I want to look at now the total of rainfall over the next 7 days as it loads in here. It's going to take a second to populate. So, or next 7 days. This is through Saturday morning with that HRRR forecast model. Notice the coastal area is not as much, but wherever that band sets up, we could see some pretty excessive rainfall totals around 6, 7, 8 inches. Likely going to see higher amounts though. So that's the high-res forecast model there that is doing that one. I want to reset to radar real quick, get an update on what's going on there. And I'm going to keep an eye on the rotation as well, see if we see anything. So here's the live radar loading in now, eventually here. And what you see here is we have flash flood warning that continues for Greene and George County. Mobile and Baldwin County, the heaviest rains on the north side of the county, north of Interstate 10 right now. Still tracking some of those heavier showers. Also now here, in Santa Rosa County, looks like a heavier thunder shower happening now, and then light to moderate rain. And anytime you see this yellow, this is really decent moderate rain. So that's going to be a concern for you there. Quick tour of what we're going on, and then we'll take a quick moment, run through some news stories, and then reset back to weather here. Here's the situation now. We have a flash flood warning, a base flash flood warning that continues for George and Greene counties in Mississippi. Heavy rain is falling there. Checking the velocity to check for rotation. It's just kind of a mess right now, so no major issues there. We do see a little bit of spin right now in Stone County. I'll get this out of the way so you can see. This is Stone County, Mississippi. This is Wiggins. You see this right here, the red and green kind of closer together. It's broad, but it's there. We're going to watch this as it moves up near Bendale. Slow moving, but eventually it'll get up there, and we'll see if that spin holds itself together. Checking elsewhere, I'm going to check inland. Thankfully, the rotation, this little spins in the atmosphere, do not look as impressive. But right now we do have heavy rain in a non-warned area, but heavy rain falling near Alabama 17 and Washington County south of Chatham near Deer Park. And this heavy rain is going to be drifting slowly off to the east. And I think the corridor that might set up here might be near Chatham, Jackson, McIntosh, where all that rain you see down there comes up and sits over this area. So those are the areas that I'm really concerned about as we head into the afternoon for the possibility of heavy rain and flooding. Let's check now down to the south here. What you're looking at is coastal zones. Much drier right now. Mobile, we're fine. It's just light to moderate rain. Some of the heaviest showers going on right now across portions of northern Escambia County, Alabama, northern Baldwin County. Taking a look at the rotation with these, it looks like there's maybe a little bit of spin. Let me put this into motion real quick, and I'm having to diagnose this in real time. It looks like there's maybe a little bit of spin with this particular cell that is near Stockton, and we'll keep an eye on that, but it's nothing of major concern right now. Still some high rainfall rates happening there. If you're trying to drive on 59 in North Baldwin County, it is not going to be a fun situation. If you're near J, near Highway 4, in between J and Munson here in northern Santa Rosa County, you have a heavy thunderstorm going on there. Checking the velocity product, I'm going to have to do a little flipping around. It's in a bad data zone there, but it doesn't look too impressive right now. We'll keep you updated on that. If you're near the coast, I do want to mention a couple things here. As we head into the afternoon, we're getting to high tide, and you're going to see winds picking up out of the south here. The concern for coastal flooding is there. Also, beaches are closed today with the strong winds, and we do have double red flags that are flying, so dangerous conditions there. We do not recommend getting into the water. Do not even get close. I'd recommend finding something else to do inside today, or maybe walking along the beach, but that's going to be too windy to do that either way. So that's the situation on radar. Your time now is 11:26. I'm going to pitch it over to Lee now. Lee, get you update on some of the other stories going on right now.
All right, thanks, Nick. Well, just to show you how dangerous those roads are out there, a tractor trailer flipped on its side on Highway 603. This in Hancock County, Mississippi this morning. Take a look. Extremely, a lot of rainfall there. You can see it on the camera. There's that tractor trailer overturned there. This kind of illustrates how all that water can come in really fast, puddle up, and cause some major accidents on our highways. So this is just one of many accidents across the Gulf Coast that we are, of course, warning you about and taking into consideration. And take a look at this flash flooding in parts of Louisiana this morning. This was a crew from our sister station WVUE out of New Orleans. This is actually them trying to get on the interstate. As you can see, a car stalled out there, a lot of water on the roadways. Remember, never try to drive through a flooded roadway. Experts urging drivers to turn around, don't drown. We've been driving home that message the last few days. Never go around barricades. And if your car stalls in rising water, get out and move to higher ground. All right, right now we have some video. This is in the Port City. One of our photojournalists, Lauren, she shot this earlier this morning. This dark skies out there. You can see slick roadways. Fortunately, we have not had any major accidents on our roadways this morning to really talk about, but just be careful if you are going to be on the roadways. Slick roads, that rain will continue to come down. A lot of rain in a very short amount of time. Well, breaking news out of Mobile, a woman is dead and her boyfriend behind bars after a shooting late last night. Mobile police responding to an apartment at 4031 Airport Boulevard in the Hillcrest Estates complex just before midnight. Officers found a woman inside the apartment with a fatal gunshot wound. Investigators say her boyfriend, identified as 24-year-old Jacoby Fowler, shot her and remained on scene. Fowler was arrested and taken into Metro Jail. The victim's name has not yet been released, pending notification of family. This remains an active investigation. If you have any information, you're urged to call MPD right away. Well, Pentagon Chief Pete Hegseth is urging Europe to take the lead in its own security so the U.S. military will be able to meet its other global commitments. His comments ruffled some feathers as he scorned some allies. All this as the NATO meeting supposed to be focused on Ukraine's defense. Fox News foreign correspondent Jeff Paul with the latest.
This will be a real review. It will be designed to ensure that NATO is moving fast and irreversibly toward Europe leading.
Pentagon Chief Pete Hegseth announced a 6-month Pentagon review of American forces in Europe. He criticized European allies for failing to provide access to bases in Europe for the U.S. to launch attacks on Iran.
Too many of our allies said no. or tried to drown us in arcane legal debates, or criticized us publicly for doing what they aren't prepared or able to do themselves.
The U.S. has NATO's biggest armed forces. Under Article 5 of its founding treaty, the Allies pledge an attack on one would be considered an attack on all. However, it does not force them to provide military support. The U.S. signaled it is scaling back its commitment of certain military assets should an ally trigger Article 5.
NATO will never be ready. There are always new capabilities coming, so this is why it is our job to invest more.
The talks in Brussels are focused on support for Ukraine and the ongoing war with Russia. This as Ukraine used drones to attack a Moscow oil refinery.
They struck the monastery. I said, quite frankly, we will prepare a response, and you will see it. I think you are seeing it now.
Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky said he had a call with President Trump and France's president that may, quote, bring about significant change. In London, Jeff Paul, Fox News.
Well, in other news, major changes to federal student loans are set to take effect in July. Financial aid experts said some families could feel the impact more than others, especially parents using Parent Plus loans and students who aren't enrolled full-time. Parent Plus loans allow parents to borrow up to the full cost of attendance. Well, now officials say parents can borrow up to $65,000 over the course of their students' college years. Well, student loan experts say student loan money will be based on credit hours per semester, and dropping classes could cost money. They say if a student drops their classes in the fall semester, they could lose money for the spring.
I think that students should make sure they speak to their financial aid office before they drop or withdraw from any courses to see the impact that it could have on their spring, because we don't want to get to spring and then not have enough funds in place or not be eligible.
Meanwhile, experts say changes will become clearer closer to the fall semester when loans are adjusted based on students' final class schedules. And some families may be grandfathered in under the old Parent Plus rules for now, depending on their situation. Well, Colorado is now one step closer to importing lower-cost prescription drugs from Canada. The FDA has approved the state's program, which could save Coloradans up to $46 million over 3 years. Well, the list of medications includes blood thinners, diabetes treatments, and Ozempic. Governor Jared Polis says Americans are paying far too much for the same drugs available across the border.
Americans and Coloradans are sick and tired of being ripped off on prescription drugs. We're paying 2 or 3 times as much for the exact same prescription drug available in Canada and England and France.
But not everyone is convinced the program will roll out without problems. Some pharmacists say there are still hurdles ahead, citing issues in other states with approval, like Florida, saying they aren't importing drugs yet. Colorado still needs to build out its supply chain, secure a distributor, and test the drugs before any savings reach their patients. All right, Apple just announced it was planning to raise prices on Apple products because of a shortage of memory chips. But President Trump says help is on the way. The president announcing Intel has struck a deal with Apple to start producing computer chips here in the U.S. In a Truth Social post, the president says he decided to step in so chips can be designed and built here in America. Well, Apple CEO Tim Cook told the Wall Street Journal earlier this week the prices were going up, driven by rising costs for memory and storage chips fueled by the AI boom. Apple currently relies heavily on Taiwan to manufacture processors for its iPhones, iPads, and Macs. Apple has not commented on the Intel deal, and Intel declined to comment as well. All right, we want to throw it back over to meteorologist Nicholas Herboso. Nick, dealing with a storm tracker alert day. We're seeing flash flooding, thunder, lightning, even some water rescues here along the Gulf Coast. All the things today.
Yeah, there's really a lot going on, Lee, and thank you for pointing all that out, because I mean there's a lot of different aspects of our forecast that we are tracking right now, one of which being the heavy rain that's going on. And I'll mention where those water rescues have been happening. Now, I'm not talking about beach water rescues. I'm talking about road water rescues. That is how serious the situation here is. And what's happening is up here near Stone County, we have some very heavy rain that has fallen. Around 10 inches seems to be the deal right now, and it's very, very serious. There's a flash flood emergency for Stone County right now with some crazy rainfall totals here. What I'm doing right now is setting up so I can see the Facebook chat as well, kind of monitoring multiple things right now. One thing that we have noticed with these thunderstorms is that even outside of them, they are producing some very, very, very strong winds. Some folks have been reporting some serious gusts with these even small rain showers here. As you can see those over Baldwin County, but also keeping an eye. I also think that now we're starting to see the pressure gradient wind and just the ambient wind outside of the thunderstorms starting to pick up a bit as well. That's just the situation you get whenever you have a decaying tropical system moving right over you. Here's the situation right now in Stone and Harrison counties. This is, of course, just outside of our area, but I want to mention it because it seems to be such a significant thing. The lightning output with this is just beyond bonkers, the best way I could put it here. Lightning output over the last 15 minutes. The query says 1,700. Lightning strikes in the past 15 minutes. So that's the situation going on there. That makes it incredibly difficult for those that are dealing with water rescues. If you know anybody in Stone County near Wiggins, Mississippi, reach out to them, check on them, make sure they're okay. Make sure they're not driving. You do not need to be driving in Stone County, Mississippi right now. We have one area of lightning that is starting to catch my attention here, and this is near Citronelle. You might be hearing a lot more thunder happening. Alabama 217 runs into 45 right there. Checking the velocity product, seeing if there's anything. There's some gusty winds there. Now that's for sure. Definitely some gusty winds. As you can see here, this is Beverly Jeffries Highway. Alabama 217 runs right here. Here's Citronelle. Gulf Crest Road's down there. That's as you go to your Georgetown and Chunchula down there. Celeste Road right there. Heavy wind possible right along Odom Road and 45 here as the heavy thunderstorms moving through. Also some very heavy rain. This is moving off to the northeast and getting to the velocity or the reflectivity. This is the rainfall product. This red is extremely, extremely heavy rain. To be prepared for that. And with that now, the Weather Service has actually issued a severe thunderstorm warning. So you might just be getting this on your phones now. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning that is in place for George County and Mississippi. This severe thunderstorm warning does conclude a tornado possible tag. We have a very intense thunderstorm happening right now that is going on in Stone County, Mississippi. But to give you the advanced warning here, the Weather Service in Mobile has decided that we're going to carry this severe thunderstorm warning into George County. So there you can see George County is involved in that. So Stone County is right here, George County is right here. This goes until 12:15 p.m. It is 11:37 a.m. right now. I'm going to take off the lightning data so you can see where the thunderstorm is. That is the core of the thunderstorm. Starting to see maybe evidence of some wind along the leading edge of this. Checking out the velocity. My goodness, some extremely heavy wind. This is Mississippi 15 right here, and this is extremely heavy wind that is about to move into George County here, right along Mississippi 57. So if you're, we'll zoom into some of the locations here. What's coming at you right now and where is this going? So right now we have very heavy wind, and it looks like they are going with winds of 60 miles per hour in this, and the radar right now is measuring wind of 72, 69, 53, 55, 57. Where is this going? This is going into George County. And if I put this in the motion, you'll see in the last couple frames here that gusts out and then pushes into George County. So that's going to be a big issue for us. So what we're seeing here is a severe thunderstorm warning, and they have the tornado possible tag put on that for places like Bendale, Dale, near River Road, Sally Parker Road there, Agricola as well as in this, Shipman, and also Loosedale is in this warning. Anywhere between Bendale, Loosedale on Mississippi 26, all the way down to the county line with Jackson County. That is our concern zone. Anywhere between Bendale and Agricola as well as an area of heavy wind will be moving in pretty soon here, potentially damaging winds. We've already had reports here. And in Stone County, yes, a note from Tim Purvis from the Emergency Management in Stone County. Rescue teams have experienced high winds in that part of the county. Can't completely rule out some wind gusts approaching 70 miles per hour. So that is with this here that's crossing Mississippi 15 that is about to get here into George County. If you are in southern George County especially, I'd be a little concerned here because of just the amount of wind that seems to be likely there. And there's the latest radar scan. You can see how it almost has a backwards C shape to it. That's what's pushing in. I wouldn't be surprised here. Let me check the velocity again. I wouldn't be surprised. Well, it looks like the core of the wind is right here. Just keeping an eye, maybe even clipping northern Jackson County a little bit. I want to put this into motion and see what they think the motion is here on this. Well, actually, there you go. They have expanded a severe thunderstorm warning to include parts of Jackson County now. So that kind of takes care of the rest of this, the heavy wind right here punching in. So if you're in northern Jackson County especially, I think you could get some heavy winds soon. I want to put this into motion, and we're going to figure out how fast this thing is going. Right now they have the forward speed on this at forward speed of 35 miles per hour. So we will track that forward for you at 35 miles per hour and get you some of the estimated arrival times here. We'll do it over the next 30 minutes. So here's Bendale all the way down. And you can see this here going out. Once again, the forward speed, 35. So here's some of the arrival times. Well, Bendale, it's happening now. It's getting to you pretty much right now, some of the heaviest rain. Dale, 11:47. Laurel at around 11:50, and then Evanston at 12:07 p.m. So you can see here some of those locations really going to be impacted by heavy wind as this pushes in there. So that's one area that we're tracking. Also heavy rain happening there. I do want to hop over to other parts of our viewing area and let you know what's going on here. What we see, these little rain showers happening. These are small rain showers, and some of them have been spinning. Check on that, see how the spin is doing. Actually, right now it actually looks pretty good. There's a lot less rotation than what we saw earlier this morning, which is good news. And we have no active tornado warnings across our area. But we'll keep an eye on all of this for you. Still heavy rain. And I think this corridor is going to set up later on with some very heavy rain. So right now the summary for you here, your time now is 11:42, and around 11:45, I think we'll pop back off, do a couple stories, and then come right back. 11:42, we have heavy rain that is setting up in a band right here with severe thunderstorm warning, a severe thunderstorm warning for George County and also parts of Jackson County as a severe thunderstorm is moving in, possibly producing some very heavy rain. Light to moderate rain continues for our inland spots. What is this going to look like over the next few hours? Well, you have high rainfall rates happening right now. We have seen already where the streak of the heaviest rain has fallen, and that is going to grow. We have flash flood warnings, including a flash flood emergency for Stone County and Mississippi. Also, we'll continue to have the potential for an isolated spin-up tornado, and we'll keep that around over the next little bit here. I want to take you through some of the other products and then modeling. This is the high risk of flash flooding. Has actually been expanded a little bit here to include almost the entire Fox 10 viewing areas. This is an extremely rare thing, the high risk. Here's your future cast. As we go through time here, this is 2 p.m. You can see here the HRRR forecast model really showing some heavy rain in our inland counties. Near the coast is a little quieter. We're going to watch any of these cells that come off the Gulf. Those could be spitting. That's going to be something to watch closely. 4 p.m. we have more showers and thunderstorms happening, dumping very heavy amounts of rain. And it looks like this band sets up just kind of south of Highway 84 and just keeps going into the nighttime period, and that could drop some extremely heavy rain. We'll likely see more flash flood warnings as we go through the night. This is the model that I wanted to pull up earlier. This is that exact forecast model that we saw moments ago, but with the forecast rainfall totals through the morning on Friday. And look at some of these numbers here. 6, almost 7 inches there, 4 inches there, and it looks like the highest corridor is in our inland zones. Now, we could see some totals isolated up around 10 plus inches, maybe even 12 inches, around a whole foot of rain. That is a definite possibility. So something we're keeping an eye on there. And a reminder that we do have a flash or a flood watch that is in place for the entire area right now. And this is a PDS flood watch, a particularly dangerous situation, something exceedingly rare. All right, wind gusts right now. This is what I was talking about earlier here. Wind gusts around 22 miles per hour in Pascagoula, 29 Mobile, 21 Fairhope. These are the ambient winds outside of the thunderstorms. So this is a lot of wind coming up, and likely as we approach high tide this afternoon, we will see some coastal flooding near the causeway. I'm going to be checking our cameras, of course, down there to see how that looks. Look at the wind gusts at 35 in Crestview. These are all outside of thunderstorms. So very breezy conditions, especially for the southern half of our area. With this, we have a high surf advisory that is in place now. That should say now all the way until 6 p.m. on Friday. So that is until 6 p.m. on Friday. And also this coastal flood advisory, it started at 10 a.m. That coastal flood advisory goes all the way until 7 p.m. So a lot of different issues that we're keeping an eye on, of course. Here's a live camera right now in Gironville, Mississippi. It's checking on some of these locations, shaking in the wind. 23 mile per hour is your wind there. The beach, rough surf, high surf advisory is the issue there. From the Eastern Shore Toyota Camera Network, a couple rain showers happening as well. Your wind right now south at 15 miles per hour. I'll have another update on what's going on with the radar. Reminder, severe thunderstorm warning for George County. Some heavy wind is moving in now.
All right, thanks, Nick. Well, more breaking news to report. The tentative agreement between the U.S. and Iran is now in effect. It extends the ceasefire for 60 days, reopens the Strait of Hormuz, and kickstarts nuclear negotiations. But as Fox's Rebecca Castor reports, the president now facing plenty of criticism, and the White House trying to convince Capitol Hill and the public that he made the right deal.
In Versailles and Tehran, President Trump and the president of Iran officially signed a tentative peace deal Wednesday night. The Strait of Hormuz is slowly reopening to commercial traffic. Oil and gas prices are plummeting, and Iran has agreed to destroy its enriched uranium. But this deal does not include any provision to ensure Iran never develops a nuclear weapon down the line. Those talks are just beginning, though President Trump says that message is implied.
We have an understanding of certain things without writing it. And if they don't honor that, we'll probably go back to bombing them until they honor it.
Democrats and even some Republicans on Capitol Hill aren't convinced. They think the U.S. made too many concessions, like allowing Iran to immediately start selling oil and receive billions for rebuilding, which President Trump says will come from outside investors.
This will be regarded as one of the biggest American disasters.
I'm afraid we'll look back on this and see a missed opportunity to basically eliminate the threat.
A new Fox poll shows 64% of voters disapprove of the president's handling of Iran, putting the White House on defense with the midterms just around the corner.
The only way the Iranians get any of those resources, not a single penny, by the way, from the United States of America, is if they comply fully and change their behavior.
While the timing is up in the air, Vice President Vance is still planning to travel to Switzerland soon to begin nuclear talks with the Iranians. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Well, a tree tied to one of history's most famous outlaws has died. The major oak, a 1,200-year-old tree in England's Sherwood Forest, is now gone. It's the tree legend that says Robin Hood used as a hideout as he evaded the sheriff of Nottingham. Conservation officials say heavy foot traffic and hot, dry summers damaged the soil around the tree's roots, and the tree stopped growing new leaves this spring. Well, despite years of conservation efforts, the damage was irreversible. The tree will remain standing for visitors to see, and saplings actually grown from its acorns have been planted around the world. Well, Scottish soccer fans are drinking Boston dry, literally. Thousands of Scots have flooded the city for the World Cup, and some bars now struggling to keep up with the demand. Hennessy's bar ran out of lager and ale over the weekend, and the Dubliner has already burned through roughly 200 kegs. A lot of kegs, that's at least 16,000 pints in just 1 week. Bars across the city rushed up to their orders and restock those shelves. They're restocking as we speak before Scotland's final World Cup matchup in Foxborough tomorrow.
It's definitely a lot busier than we ever anticipated. You know, we kind of prepared for St. Patrick's Day level, but this kind of blew it out of the water.
The camaraderie, the fun that they have brought to this city has been unprecedented.
Bar managers say they are stocked up and ready for whatever the next few weeks of the World Cup has to offer. Well, did you know Alabama is one of the best states in the country to get a cheap slice of pizza? Yeah, a new study by NetCredit looked at the price of a medium cheese pizza across all 50 states. The good news for us here in Alabama, Alabama ranks as one of the top 3 cheapest states alongside Indiana and Michigan, with average prices coming in under $15. On the other end, Hawaii, California, and Alaska are the most expensive, where a medium cheese pizza averages nearly $20. As for chains, Little Caesars ranked the most affordable out of the top 10 U.S. pizza chains, with a medium cheese pie averaging just over $10. Papa Murphy's and Mod Pizza rounded out the top 3 for value, while Pizza Hut, Domino's, and Chuck E. Cheese landed in the bottom 5 for price. And if you want to stretch your dollars even further, experts say order one larger pizza instead of 2 smaller ones, or skip the delivery altogether and make it at home. All right, a newborn chimpanzee is on the mend. The little one had a rough start to its time on Earth, but zoo staff using some creative human assistance to help it heal. Patrick Cornell has that story and more, and take a look at this.
This lovely baby chimpanzee has suffered an unfortunately shaky start to life. Just hours after being born, dropped by her first-time mother and fracturing her femur, requiring a bright yellow cast. The staff at Rockhampton Zoo in Australia says it's common for new chimp moms to have some difficulties, so they're now stepping up to take extra good care of the little one named Cassie and getting an assist from a special donor. Zookeepers are feeding Cassie a specialized formula every couple of hours and supplying her with human colostrum, nutrient-dense early breast milk given by a zoo patron, also named Cassie. The zoo director says chimps and humans share a roughly 98% genetic makeup, and the